Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Huh? It's the house!
Whoa! Jeez. I'm so far down on the screen there. Alright. Well, we're going to play the portion. It's only 30 minutes long, the hearing today, so we'll play that portion again. But yeah, I'm doing a live stream. We don't need those kind of comments, Stephanie. Thank you. Let's see. Yeah, so we'll just play it again, and you get to see all the little the faces I put on Kohberger, etc. So that's cool. But also thanks Pink Diamond for your hearts up there. I accidentally deleted that one. I was trying to get rid of Stephanie Sprague's "Will Graven show up if there's only 36 people?" Ooh, or 10 or whatever the hell it was. You know, it's just man. How about let the trolls be the trolls, and let's have the people watching my channel just be normal people. All right. Let's see. Yeah. So the judge at the very end, he made a statement. I guess we could just play that right out of the bat. I mean, right out of the gate here. Let's see.
We want to continue as if the trial is going to take place when it is scheduled for. Again, I reserve the right to write the decision that I come to, but as of now, I would tell you that it's likely you're going to trial on the day indicated.
Likely, boom!
Is there any other matters that we need to take up in the public sector?
I was pretty excited at that time. Yeah, so it's likely going to happen. All right. No, it's not an interpretation. That's what you wrote. You typed in, let's see. Only 10 people. Will Gray even come on? Yeah. Let's see. Alright, so we're just going to play the whole thing in case you happen to miss it earlier. And maybe we'll pause it at various times. I do want to try something though. I'm looking at this. Like, see that chat there? What does this one look like? Yeah, so it's kind of weird. There's like, I don't know. You're supposed to be able to do this chat highlighting thing, but it doesn't seem to work. I'm not sure why. Let me try one more thing. Hold on. StreamYard. I'm trying to test something out. That chat looks really stupid on the screen there, but I was just trying to hold on. I keep doing the same thing over and over again. You can only test it out when the stream's going. widgets. And there was supposedly a chat highlighter. Okay. So let's see, does that work? Let's see. I don't know if that actually works. Interesting. I don't know. Anyways, done in attempting to try to get that to work. It doesn't show you how to do the, but we already have the chat highlighter. I can go like this and it pops up on the screen. But OBS, Streamlabs had something. But hey guys, we're at 0 on this stream here already. So if you guys could please help support the channel, that'd be great. You know, get started, get some momentum going for the show. Whenever it's like 0, 0, 0, 0 right out of the gate, it gets kind of, makes me nervous. All right. All right, so let's, here we go. Let's play it. I'm just seeing which one of these looks better. That's my voice on the recording from earlier. I got to start over. No, hold on. Joanne, I know what I'm doing.
All right, this is CR0124316665, State v. Kohberger, on behalf of the state.
So at the beginning of this, yeah, I have to adjust all my little windows because they shift around. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing during the trials, every day, right when it starts, I have to quickly manipulate things because they change where the person's sitting every single day. It's crazy. I could even do one where I take this window and have its own little, you know, screen somewhere, that window, but people didn't really like that when we tried that one time. Hey, thanks, MAGA Mama.
We have Mr. Thompson and Mr.
So right at the beginning of this, I start putting it together.
Horowitz.
Just a second, I'm going to change this up a little bit.
When you should note the defendant is present with
See, I like having the judge large like that.
counsel, Ms. Taylor, Ms. Massoth, and Ms. Barlow. This is the time set for, or at least the public portion of today's hearing is set for the motion to continue the trial filed by the defense. So we'll start with that.
See, basically in OBS Studio, what you can do is put the same window on the scene 5 times, right? Then you take each one and you can just put the window that you want and then make it larger and then try to fit it around on the screen.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Your Honor, our motion to continue has been filed and is necessary to protect Bryan Kohberger's rights under the United States Constitution and the Constitution of the State of Idaho. Specifically, a continuance is necessary to protect his due process rights, his rights to a fair trial, his rights to effective assistance of counsel, rights to confrontation, Mr. Kohberger's right to present a full defense, and if it should come to it, a fair sentencing hearing and to be free of cruel and unusual punishment. The record of this case spans 2.5 years, and it shows that this request does not come as a surprise. Looking through the history of this case shows that the defense has met challenges and difficulties along the way, but has been dedicated in meeting all of the deadlines. We have talked about the discovery issues in this courtroom before, and that in large part brings us to need a continuance. 68 terabytes of information is a huge amount of information.
Put a 1 if you're getting really sick of her saying 68 terabytes over and over and over and over again. I mean, video does that. You know, so for example, if you have one video camera and you're downloading a week's worth of information or a month worth because you're trying to see if Kohberger was driving around, that's going to probably take up terabytes by itself. So she just keeps saying the same thing over and over and over again. You can't have 68 terabytes of documents. That's probably like every book ever written times 100. I mean, it's ridiculous. Let me see. How many terabytes would every book written take if, I don't know how you'd say it, like, is it scanned in or? Okay, it says it's difficult to give an exact figure, but estimates range from 100 terabytes. So that's every book ever written in mankind. Okay, so I was wrong on my, like 5 times thing. So just 100 terabytes, and she has 65 terabytes. So you're saying that she has enough paper to read? That's every book in the history of mankind, basically? Or is it just that video takes up a lot of space? And that's the answer.
There have been 23 requests for additional
Hey,
discovery
thanks,
over
Jessica,
the span of 2.5 years,
Allie.
and 7 motions to compel. When I say that this doesn't come as a surprise, that this comes from the record, I would direct the court to look back to May of 2023 and June of 2023, and our second motion to compel. Included in that was what was known as Exhibit A from the defense, and that depicted how we were receiving discovery. So this is not a new issue. This is something that's been...
And the thing is they were receiving discovery on time the whole time. There was never a problem, okay? So she just keeps saying the same thing over and over. And by the way, isn't everybody happy that the Karen Reed case is over at this point? I mean, what an abomination. And I don't even mean the case itself. I'm talking about how it just ate up the entire airways of the true crime community, where you could just barely even eke out 5 people watching because everybody, ooh, Karen Reed, ooh, I gotta know every single... I mean, it's just sick, all right? Yeah. So I'm glad that's over. But you know what sucks even more is that now they were sued civilly. So all these same people are going to get so interested to watch that. My God, I hope they don't televise the civil suit. Because then it's just going to be another just like ludicrous, just everybody going, ooh, they're just, and it'll turn into this really crazy, what do you call it? Everybody will get angry at the family of the victim. It's like, it's just crazy. Hope they just settle it somehow.
Been coming up for a long time. We were receiving discovery, but it was such that you would get a file that would say hundreds of photographs, hundreds of pages of reports, each having to be looked at individually to know what...
I don't know if she's innocent. I think she might have actually backed over him or something, but all the charges were way too much. And then it was easy to make a conspiracy theory over it. I don't know. People say that there was corruption, and sure, there was some of that and all that. So then everybody believed certain things. I think her rear tail light was broken before she backed in. It was pretty obvious. Or she barely touched that other car. Obviously, it was broken. Did somebody make it look worse than that? I don't know, but it was obviously broken before she backed in there. So at that point, you realize, well, she broke it before driving home. Where did she break that? Was it broken before somewhere else? Blah, 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 blah. But they seem to find all the parts that go into the back of that. But people just want to ignore those kind of things because of the overall picture. Yeah, I thought it was
what
a
was
joke.
there, and then organized. This case has also faced unique
really
issues,
ridiculous
starting
trial.
with the media coverage of this
Yeah, there you go.
high-profile case, non-dissemination orders that were addressed in courts, and then the grand jury materials that we had to fight to get access.
Well, no, she isn't innocent. She had the drunk driving stuff, so she got that. She got innocent of all the main charges, sure, but...
us to before we could properly challenge the grand jury indictment. We faced issues.
It's interesting that they say that she got drunk driving, but then they weren't able to they didn't want to make the leap to having the drunk driving lead to anything else. Because it just was creepily, I think really what it was is nobody proved anything in court. It was just reasonable doubt. That's what it came down to. Like nobody proved anything. It was just reasonable doubt. Like, yeah, I can't, we don't even know. We don't even know how she died or anything. Or how he died, or that's what it came down to. It had nothing to do with like somebody proved somebody was innocent. She was found not guilty.
issues with discovery, particularly with the IgG materials. We spent a great deal of time trying to get access to those materials. Those were ultimately what we could get, was ultimately presented in a motion to suppress, and that's preserved should there be a conviction in this case. We faced venue issues in this case, culminating in the change of venue and bringing us to Ada County. At the first hearing in this courtroom, we discussed the discovery issues and not having read everything and being ready with a full investigation in this case. That was apparent through our motions to strike the death penalty, our motions to compel expert disclosures filed in September and December of 2024, and requests for more time to file our motions in limine that was granted in January of 2025. Throughout the course of the motions in limine and then a motion to strike death based on discovery issues in February and March of this year, the record is replete with notice that we are not prepared to go to trial in this case. The discovery is vast and we have not had a chance to review it all.
Well, that's because you are lazy, and Taylor, you're one of the laziest attorneys I've ever heard. In fact, a year ago you were saying the same thing, how you just didn't have time to look at the video. You didn't have time to look at this, you didn't have time to look at that. Well, that's because you chose not to look at this or look at that. And you've even picked up another case in the middle of that. So, I mean, if I was the judge, I'd be going, listen, if you haven't had time, why did you pick up another death penalty case? Why'd you do that if you didn't have time in this case? Yeah, so we're not going to delay to help you have time. You know, it's just, I think it's ridiculous.
That we met deadlines for experts shows our dedication to comply with court orders. It does not depict effective counsel ready to go to trial on this case.
That means
we
you're
would
lazy.
submit that it's the court's responsibility to assess this motion to continue with heightened due process.
Sometimes you'll hear my voice because this is our live recording. I didn't talk that much, but
that's required in death penalty cases. The death penalty case is different. That comes from Ford versus Wainwright.
I'll tell you what I thought was funny is, see how he's got his hand like that on the side of his head? He went like this one time. He was like this, right? Then he went. And he had to like scratch something, but he left his hand exactly the same way, and then he sets it back. He puts it back down like that. Hey, thanks Jeannie Gallagher for gifting a membership.
For $477 US, $399 at $411. The court must be sensitive to safeguard every avenue of due process. The Idaho Supreme Court said the qualitative difference between death and other penalties.
Do you guys kind of like it, like this setup where you can see the few, you know, like, I mean, you can see their faces closer up. Like this one sucks because he's so far away and it's so pixelated. But that's just the way it is.
Calls for a greater degree of reliability when death is imposed, and that comes from State versus Creech, 105 Idaho, 362 at 383. Looking at all of the constitutional rights Mr. Kohberger has, effective assistance of counsel really becomes the crux of how all of these other rights are covered for Mr. Kohberger. And effective assistance of counsel applies both to the merits phase and the penalty phase of a death penalty case.
Show more interest.
The courts are guided, and counsel's guided by the American Bar Association guidelines on capital cases. Wiggins versus Smith, 539
I guess
US
I can go
510
like
at
that. Nice
524
live.
said the ABA guidelines are guides to determine what is reasonable. And that's talking about reasonable performance by defense counsel in a capital case. The Ninth Circuit in Andrews versus Davis at 944 F3D 1092 at 1109 relies on the ABA guidelines as the proper measure to test an attorney's investigation. In Idaho, our public defender statutes reference the ABA guidelines as applying to indigent defense. These apply to the full investigation of the merits phase.
You know, I think she spent more time trying to prepare for these kind of delays and everything than she has on the case itself. I mean, like I say over and over and over again, Ann Taylor knows that Bryan Kohberger, Frankenstein up here, is absolutely guilty and did this. And that's why she has no, I mean, I want people to try to picture it. If you just picture it like this, if you say to yourself, if you had a client, like if you're a prosecutor, it's interesting, right? Like you're going, oh, wow, let me look at this stuff. There it is. Boom, boom. Look at that. That's kind of how I look at it when I'm looking at the surveillance footage. 1330 Linda Lane, the 1112 King Road footage, all the other ones, you put it together and it tells a story. Ann Taylor knows that exists, but she also knows that her client did it. So what curiosity would she have to look into the surveillance footage? You know what I mean? Like she's not going to go, ooh, look at that. Ooh, you know, she doesn't want to be sold that her client, see, here's what I think it is. She believes her client is guilty, but is maintaining a sense of openness to it. If she saw on surveillance and all of the really damning stuff over and over and over again, she probably would lose interest and probably ineffectively feel, I mean, she's already kind of like that anyways, but it feels like if she saw the surveillance footage, it would be obvious that her client did it, and she doesn't want to see those types of things.
And require us to raise all legal claims. They require us to perform a background on all witnesses that might be called, especially those being called by the state. That means that we have to review all discovery.
And by the way, you guys, I don't mind that people were into the Karen Reed case. What I hated was how it absolutely sucked the oxygen out of the entire true crime community, where even when you're covering some other stuff, nobody's watching because they're all looking at the latest updated late at night at the Karen Reed over and over and over again. I mean, it was just crazy. I mean, how big social media made that case. I mean, look at at the end, everybody jumping up and down outside, screaming and yelling like it's the greatest. It's really strange.
To be able to present a full defense for Mr. Kohberger. We cannot present what we are not aware of.
How you doing today, Zozo?
I would note for the court that discovery has been ongoing. I received discovery just this week. It is discovery that I have not reviewed yet.
Okay, well, why not, though?
Considering...
But why not, though? I guess that's the question, Ann. You got it this week. Why didn't you start looking at it?
What's required at a penalty phase in a capital case. We're required to perform in a way that the jury can carry out their function of individualized sentencing.
Hey, Jason's up there now.
That means that Mr. Kohberger's background has to be known and investigated and ready to present to the jurors. Evidence of his character has to be known and ready to present to the jurors, and his circumstances have to be known and ready to present to the jurors. That's addressed in the Woodson case and in the Lockett case. The jury must have the opportunity to consider all evidence that may weigh against the death penalty, and that means anything from his life history. It is the duty of the defense to find and investigate all mitigating information. We do have several experts that would be ready for the mitigation portion of the case, should the case reach that phase. And they rely...
Okay, here's what I think is strange. They've spent so much time, it sounds like, on the mitigation phase. Basically, what they're saying is, Kohberger did this, all right? We want to try to mitigate it so he doesn't get the death penalty. That's all they're working on. And by the way, the judge could say, listen, you've got mitigation experts, right? Wouldn't they have an advantage, by the way, to be watching the trial as they're preparing the mitigation? So you'll have 3 months of that, because that's how long the trial is going to take. So that's 2 months from now is the trial. Then 3 months the trial takes place, and then after, if he becomes guilty, then that means they'll have had 5 months to come up with a nice mitigation technique, or some strategy of some sort. All right, but hey, you guys, if you're out there, if you can help support the channel, that'd be awesome.
On understanding family history and Mr. Kohberger's own history. They can only understand what they've been presented. and the investigation to fully evaluate needs to be thorough. That means that records have to be collected.
You know what's weird about the Frankenstein mask is it actually looks just like him. I mean, look at this, watch.
That means that interviews,
Same hairline and everything. It just happened to be turning the wrong way. But
collateral interviews have to be done, and those have not all been completed. And it's not because of a lack of diligence in this case. Further, when things that are noted as red flags arise, those things must be investigated. Red flags aren't fanciful ideas of what else could we do in this case. They're real things that come up in the course of the investigation, and whether or not they're important to mitigation and presentation for a jury's consideration requires time to investigate and collect records. Documentation is very important. The court's aware that red flags have come up and they require further investigation. Those are issues that may mean a lot to the experts that would be ready to testify, but they can't be presented until there's a full investigation. They are things that might change the course of the evaluation or might require us to have an additional expert to help explain certain circumstances. And that's important for the individual.
thank you, MAGA Mama, who's already helped out a couple times now. How about some of the rest of you guys? That'd be great.
Individualized sentencing that's required by the Constitution. Your Honor, there have been numerous challenges with gathering records and interviewing collateral witnesses. I know the court is aware of some of those particular issues. I'm not going to highlight them now, but it's imperative that we be able to collect records and conduct interviews from other family members besides just Mr. Kohberger and his parents. And it's also imperative that his history be complete with educational records, medical records, and those things are still being done to this day.
Does he blink?
The other reason that a continuance is appropriate in this case is based on the media coverage, the Dateline issue that has been talked about in this courtroom before, and what's yet to come. The Dateline episode wasn't just a one-time deal back in May. That continues to be talked about. Everything that happens in this case continues to be talked about, and this court has a duty, a responsibility to make sure that Mr. Kohberger receives a fair trial. That comes from Shepard versus Maxwell, 384 U.S. 333. And a continuance may be the way that the court can best protect Mr. Kohberger. That comes from Patton versus Yount, 467 U.S. 1025. In addition to what is going on with what happened with...
the judge looks at that, like, listens to all these citations and just goes, whatever, you know, he gets really bored when he starts hearing the citations because it's just meaningless at this point.
With the Dateline episode, that's not all. There's a book set to be released just a few weeks from now to be followed by a docuseries on Amazon Prime. There's a claim that there's inside sources.
Yeah, they're all going to say that, you know.
That provide information in this case.
It seems like having the trial sooner than later would be better because there might be another book written and then more chances for more people to have heard a lot about the case.
At the very least, the moment we start attempting to select a jury in this case, those things are going to be on everybody's TV, everybody's social media feed, and some of the very witnesses that will be expected to testify will be taking part in the docuseries at least, and maybe
not
noted
defend
in
them
the
at
book.
trial, Jessica.
That is, in and of itself, an exceptional reason for us to have a continuance to let those things play out for a while. I would also note, Your Honor, that jury selection is going to be particularly challenged and will need a great deal of time based on what's happened in the media and continues to happen. Your Honor, our request is for a continuance in this matter to allow us to be effective and perform our constitutional duty for Mr. Kohberger, to protect his constitutional rights, to make sure that we have fully investigated all mitigating circumstances so the jury, if it comes to it, can perform their individualized sentencing, judgment and function, and to allow some space between what's recently happened in the media. Thank you.
First time I've heard this guy. He's the new guy.
Of course.
I think the judge has already made up his mind. That's the whole thing. This is just sort of... I think this guy was a little bit nervous to
Thank you,
start
Your
off.
Honor.
To start off. He was...
I will, I think, address Ms. Taylor's arguments sort of in the reverse order in which she raised the issues that she raised. I want to begin, though, by bringing us and the court back to what the standard is for this motion to continue as opposed to what might happen after a conviction with respect to ineffective assistance of counsel. Right now, the standard is whether denying a continuance would violate the defendant's rights by causing unfair prejudice. And that is an objective standard that the court has, and the court has discretion on all motions to continue, including a motion to continue in a case such as this that involves the death penalty. What the defendant and counsel are asking the court to do is delay this trial because of their subjective, prospective beliefs about how an ineffective assistance of counsel evaluation would happen by an appeals court if there is a conviction. What this court should do is use its discretion and look at the objective record.
So do they have, is there something like ineffective counsel, but it's not really the counsel's fault, like the judge set things into motion that didn't allow the defense attorney to effectively defend their client? Maybe that's what they're talking about here. I bet that's what it is.
The record supports denying the motion based on what the defense has been doing, continues to do, and will continue to do through the mitigation phase until the penalty phase, including presenting mitigation evidence that the jury will ultimately decide about if there is a conviction. The lens that the court should look at is well stated, through which the court should look at this motion is well stated in some Idaho case law and others. And if I can turn on the Elmo, do I need to hit this button, Your Honor?
And clerk needs to switch it over.
Okay, thank you. So these are cases that we cited in our brief, and I wanted to start my discussion with them. I'll read the top case, which is an Idaho Supreme Court case.
What I said on the show earlier is, isn't it strange that Mark Zuckerberg was actually hired to help the prosecution out here?
Case
I think I actually say it again during this recording. But
evaluating whether counsel was effective in a death penalty
hey, thanks,
case.
Alley Cake.
Counsel was not required to investigate defendant's entire life in order to objectively and reasonably present mitigation evidence. And then I like the way that the Seventh Circuit sort of rephrased the same principle by saying, I won't read the entire quote, Your Honor, but a scorch the earth strategy is not required. We're in a standard of reasonableness. And the record that is before the court, and I'll acknowledge we have not seen what specifics, if any, the defense has put forward in its ex parte filing.
It's kind of hard for you, I recognize.
It does, but we have not seen specifics. I did not hear any
I want to
specifics.
hear that again. I missed that the first time and that time.
Not seen what specifics, if any, the defense has put forward in its ex parte filing.
It's kind of hard for you, I recognize.
It does, but we have not seen specifics. I did not hear any specifics from counsel just now about these witnesses need to be contacted, these records need to be obtained. And then the court, I think, mentioned at prior hearing we had when this was motion to continue was first raised, that the court would be looking at what admissible evidence the defense needs to obtain and what strategies would actually be used to fruitfully obtain that evidence. And we don't have anything specific that we can respond to about that. So I'm at a bit of a disadvantage, Your Honor, but I think the record that we do have shows that the court can use its discretion to deny this motion to continue. What we did in our response brief, Your Honor, was to cite the fact that the defense has identified 55 defense witnesses for mitigation, and I think one was recently added, so we're up to 56, 132 exhibits to use at the mitigation phase. And with respect to the ABA standards, we're not saying the court should completely ignore them, but what we are saying is that the court should look at them for what they are, which is a retrospective tool for appellate courts to look at the performance of counsel after a conviction, not some checklist that needs to be religiously adhered to in order to actually get to trial. Even if the court were to rely on them heavily, though, the charts that we put together show that for each of the ABA guidelines categories that the defense has raised, we have seen evidence in the record that shows that they have witnesses to talk about those issues and they have discovery on those issues themselves. Now, defense has called that superficial, but we would ask the court to look at the tables and look at the witnesses that we've been able to identify for each category and also the discovery in the record. So, Your Honor, again, we think that given the legal standards here on a motion to continue, given the court's discretion, given that we are in a world where the court needs to satisfy itself that defense has done a reasonable job to prepare for trial, there is no basis for a motion to continue. Now let me turn to some of the specific arguments, and I can take this down, Your Honor, that Ms. Taylor raised. With respect to the media coverage, we acknowledge, as the court has, that will pose challenges for jury selection. The issue, though, is not whether there is a lot of publicity. We know there's going to be a lot of publicity regardless of when this trial happens. As Ms. Taylor said, people will continue to talk about this case. The issue is whether the court, using the procedures it has established, or maybe even modifying them as the court wants to, can seat a panel of impartial jurors. The Supreme Court of Idaho has found that despite widespread publicity, even on the day of jury selection, that is possible. That is possible in this case, despite the challenges. The other thing I would mention with respect to the publicity is that it puts us at the whim of the media. Every time there's a breaking story, every time there's a new book or a new documentary, are we going to continue the trial indefinitely? And that seems to...
Thanks, Maureen, for the PayPal, and also Sandy Shirley on the coffee. She got me a few coffees there. Thank you.
To be the danger in what the defense is asking for. We call it a perpetual continuance, and we haven't seen a proposal about when this trial could take place. If there's a continuance, what seems to be the strategy here is just to delay. And that leads me to, I think, the other point that Ms. Taylor raised, which was to say that this shouldn't be a surprise. It is a surprise to us that a motion to continue was made so late in the game, after, by the way, the trial date was used to oppose an extension that we filed for with respect to our mental health expert.
Right.
At that point, the defense said we can't possibly go down this road or give the government the state what it wants because of the trial date. Once that issue is resolved, then we get a motion to continue. So I think what we have seen from the...
I mean, that's a good point, right? Because remember that? They wanted to have their own mental evaluations, but it was kind of late in the game, and even the judge sort of ruled, yeah, it's a little late. And the defense used that to, that's what their argument was, and I think the judge agreed on that. And now they want to do a continuance, so does that then open the door back up for the prosecutors to then do that again? How do you rule? It's just stupid.
Defense is that they tried to use the mass amount of discovery to remove the death penalty from the table. When that failed, now we have a motion to continue. So I do think timing is relevant here.
Man, that's gross, Lil D. Did you hear that? Look at that. Lil D just said, I just saw the biggest raccoon ever in my trash. I walked outside and pooped myself. Man, that is... Okay, now I would suggest, I don't know where you want to do it, but I would remove your pants and then try to, deal with that issue and then come back in here. All right, thanks.
Again, and it's not just that the defense waited so long, it's that we now have a very substantial record on which the court can deny this motion based on everything that's been put in front of the state and the court. In terms of the mitigation investigation, Your Honor, we believed but did not have confirmation that the defense had a mitigation specialist until the reply brief on this motion alluded to an affidavit that mitigation specialist submitted. So I don't know what that says. I don't know what the mitigation specialist has said, but the fact that there is a mitigation specialist, apart from the 3 attorneys and 2 investigators that are part of the defense team, that person has one role, as I understand it, which is to prepare for the penalty phase if we get there. And that person, that specialist, has still time.
Hey, Stephanie Sprague got scolded earlier. Hey, all right, you're official. Thanksgiving dinner, everybody. That's this channel. It's like Thanksgiving dinner. We're all family, but maybe you get in an argument at the table.
To continue doing whatever work they told the court they need to do. Your Honor, again, I would try to get back to the record and ask the court to look at the objective record when evaluating this motion.
A little D.
55 mitigation witnesses, over 130 exhibits, a very robust team on the defense side, which includes their retained experts. Ms. Taylor, and in the briefing, really honed in on this idea of a social life history for the defendant. I don't know if the court has read the expert report.
By the way, aren't you, a lot of you kind of, sometimes we don't think about stuff, but the amount of every single hearing we hear about and the need for more time is all related to the mitigating evidence to try to keep him from getting the death penalty. It's almost like, as I said earlier, like she's absolutely resigned to the fact that he will be found guilty in this case. And they just want more time for the mitigation portion so that he doesn't get the death penalty. Because that's all they're talking about. The factual elements of the case have just disappeared from any conversations that they're having. It's just always about their, mitigation witnesses, the psychologists, and this and that and the other thing.
Reports of the defendant's forensic psychiatrist and then the licensed psychologist. I won't discuss the details in open court, but our position is that both of those specialists, well-trained, very experienced specialists, conducted significant, fulsome life history investigations. They weren't just looking at bare records. They were talking to people from the defendant's past, from his present, his family, and developed parallel life histories. And in their reports, as I read them, no red flags that needed further investigation were noted. Nothing about those reports appeared to be incomplete. And the experts didn't say, we are unable to reach the conclusions we need to reach for lack of investigation. So I think that is sort of proof in the pudding. We have a life history for the defendant. The defense has amassed significant materials. And I thought we were going to be solely talking about the mitigation case that still needs to be developed. That is not a basis for a continuance. And to the extent there are ongoing discovery from the state that Ms. Taylor alluded to, I can represent that most of what was just turned over was our investigators speaking with witnesses that the defense has disclosed. So that's the nature of that discovery, is us responding to discovery from the defense. And that will continue, of course, to occur as we lead up to trial and witnesses make statements that we need to disclose to the defense. So with that, Your Honor, I would again rest on the case law holding that a scorch the earth investigation is not what's required. And on the record before the court should exercise its discretion to deny the motion. If the court has any questions, I'm happy to answer those. Otherwise, we would submit on the record before the court.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, you can tell the judge he's already made up his mind. They're just sort of, he's doing this for the record, like, okay, you made your argument, blah, blah. He's just like, yeah, right, okay, yeah. He's already decided all this stuff. Almost like this is just for the media to do today. It's just that.
Any reply?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, is there going to be a rebuttal too?
I would start with noting that if the new discovery is the state's contact of witnesses we've listed, the state knows that there are mitigation witnesses that we've listed because we had to disclose them, but they are people that have refused to speak with us. That presents a challenge in the case. A lot of the witnesses that refuse to speak with us have to do with records, medical records of Bryan Kohberger. Past treatment records of Bryan Kohberger. Those are important things that the gravity of...
Like treatment records, all stuff. What does it have to do with the case, though? You know, the actual, like, finding him, you know, guilty or not?
What they have to say can't be known to our experts until we have the opportunity to fully understand those things, and we continue to work on access to witnesses and access to additional information. Your Honor, I want to touch on just a couple of points. One, when the court considers a continuance and considers whether Bryan Kohberger's rights are violated, his right to a fair trial, his...
Wait a minute, is that Sharon Gornick? What the heck? I haven't seen you in a million years. Where have you been, Sharon? Where have you been? Anyways, thank you for the super chat, but I thought I'd stop because I haven't seen Sharon Gornick in a long time. Good to see you.
Right to confront witnesses and evidence against him, his right to present a full defense, and his right to effective assistance of counsel are implicated and laid out in our motion to continue. The ABA guidelines require us to do a full investigation. It's not going scorched earth to understand Bryan Kohberger's full life history. These are things that are required. And we've done everything that we can. We have had a mitigation expert on the case. This is 2.5 years into a case, and the average for capital cases is 3.5 years.
And yesterday when I read her motion, or before the show, we did a summary of her motion that was filed on the 16th, and she said federal cases, and I said, well, that's federal. This isn't federal. And the judge says almost exactly the same thing. Do you know the judge, this look that he has here? This is how I feel a lot. Like when we're seeing these pro-burger nut jobs, and that's the same feeling that I've got. Like, jeez, here we go.
In federal court.
In federal court.
Which moves
I said that
snail's
earlier.
pace in its best day. In regular cases.
I'm not a practitioner in federal court, so I don't have any basis to talk to
Right,
the
but you use that to try to sneak it by.
court about that. But what I can tell you is that a capital case where we have a client and we need to investigate both the merits phase and a penalty phase at the same time takes time. In any case, it takes time to do that. In this case, with the high-profile nature and having people decline to talk to us presents a whole set of challenges that we have to find a way to work through. As the court knows, a lot of mitigation information is very sensitive information. It takes some time to be able to get people to talk about things. Realities exist too. Not all of the family members are in the same place. So there's travel that's required. All of those things take time to do in a case like this. 2.5 years is excessively fast to put all of that together. There was no delay in having a mitigation expert on board. There was no delay in getting investigators to work on the case.
so
And as soon
great.
as issues became apparent, Mr. Kohberger's team did not delay in getting experts to help us understand specific areas of the case. Looking over the entire record, the court can see that the defense team has been diligent about discovery, about motion practice, about litigating issues in the case. There just still is a lot left to do. There is still a lot left that is not known. And Mr. Kohberger has a right to go to trial with prepared counsel that have conducted a full investigation in both phases of the case. When you have a certain amount of information and there's this other stuff that's out there, that's a red flag, that's real, that you need to investigate, your experts can only do what's here, what's been investigated, what's been produced for them to assess. This whole other area, that land between the red flags and the investigation, that's an unknown area. That's where there's
Sharon Gornick's always taking care of business. But hey, good to see you here. Thanks. Thank you for the super chat. Now, if anybody else out there wants to help support the channel, we're already now kind of moving into the last third of the month, and at the end of the month, that's when our channel's got to, after we give $2,000 out, we'll be at $250,000 that this channel's given out from the income to the channel, because of the generosity of all the freaks with the super chats over the years, the channel ad revenue and memberships and all that stuff. You know, I put all that together and I donate a lot of the money back to various true crime related charities. I'm not a charity intake company or something like that. That's what we do. So we make a big difference out there, and we'll actually be at $250,000. I think we're at, that's not the screen, this one right here. It's yeah, so we're at 248,000. We did 22,000 in 2021, 42,000 in 2020 we did 22,000. And this is right during the pandemic. And then 2021, 42,500, then 62,250, then the next year 57,350, then 49,811, and then so the peak year was 2022, amazingly. And then this year, 2025, we are at 19,000 after May. So, you know, it'd be great if we could, you know, get the ball rolling this month, because only being able to do 2,000, then we'd be at 21 and at a 42,000 pace, and that means dropping every single year after the peak in the pandemic. You know, but if we have these great months, because we just did 5,000 last month, so that would be 60,000 in the year. So what I need is you guys to help support the channel on a nightly basis that can. And tonight we're having one of those slow ones again. So if you have the ability to, that would be great. Thank you.
ineffective assistance of counsel. That's where there's not a fair trial. That's where there's not an individualized sentencing proceeding. And it's that area that requires a continuance in this case.
Yeah. It's just like listening to a drone on that one. What if it's already decided, and this is just sort of like, let me hear your last arguments. So I actually thought that. I mean, that's the thing. I thought that while we watched it. Come on. God. Because they already put this out in a document 2 days ago.
All right, I'll take the matter under advisement and get an opinion out in short order. In the meantime, I fully encourage everyone to continue as if the trial is going to take place when it is scheduled for. Again, I reserve the right to write the decision that I come to, but as of now, I would tell you that it's likely you're going to trial on the date indicated.
Likely. Oh, boom! So that was it right there. It's likely that you're going to go to trial on the date indicated. I want to look at it. Made me excited over there. But let me see what watch Ann Taylor. Let's go like this. Let's see what she does over here. Hold on.
Write the decision that I come to, but as of now, I would tell you that it's likely you're going to trial on the date indicated.
Oh, she looked up right
Likely,
there.
huh?
Oh, boom!
Is there any other matters that we need to take up?
That's all. That was during the show. You're hearing me from the show, but look. I mean, just look at the. They're kind of taking notes and.
Write the decision that I come to, but as of now, I would tell you that it's likely you're going to trial on the date indicated.
Likely. Oh, boom! Kohberger's like, oh shit, man. Look at him. Yeah, that's the first time he just looks like. Here, just leave that again. Like.
Now I would tell you that it's likely you're going to trial on the date indicated.
Likely. Oh, boom! Yeah, she looked up right at that. Yeah, that's great. She thought, oh man, I'm hoping to get some delay here.
Is there any other matters that we need to take up in the public session before we break to
Like my sound effect?
go to the private session?
Nothing further in the public session, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, I don't believe so.
All right, we'll take a 10-minute break while the bailiffs clear the courtroom and we set up for the private session.
All right, so the private session, I think, was related to the third-party suspect. Whatever the hell that is, I don't know. But did anybody hear what I just said a minute ago? I was trying to do my public service announcement to help get some support for the channel going. Seemed like it just went in one ear and out the other. Let's see. He's looked like he wants to slaughter the judge the whole time. Well, he just looks... I think Kohberger is one of those people that doesn't really have a personality of his own. He watches other people, and when he smiles, it's because somebody else smiled, and he kind of tries to imitate their smile. I think he's a absolute, like a sociopath, just doesn't have any real emotions that normal people have. You kind of just see him. He doesn't act normal. Thanks, KB. And it was in that moment KB crapped his pants. Oh man, so he has to clean his too? We'll send him outside with Lil D up there. All right? Yeah, I don't know what that... I don't think she's smiling all the time. I always thought she was, but I don't know. There might be some kind of a muscle issue in her face or something. Oh yeah, yeah. Now that the smile looks poopy, pants creepy. Voorhees? Huh? He thinks he has, thinks he's imitating Bundy. I don't know. Bundy had a personality. I think he was more like a psychopath or something. This guy, he just... like when the cop pulls him over, the female cop, just the way he was, he was struggling to present emotions like a normal person. He was just sort of, like a drone trying to look for something, hoping to get a smile in, but couldn't really force one out. It was just weird. You hate his face? Okay. Man, you guys are a tough crowd tonight, man. Just real tough one. Well, somebody said up there he crapped his pants, and then you said the same thing, Lil D, so I was wondering. Can we do a chat? Got bro mode about the hearing. Let's see. I don't know. Let me see if I can. I could do something like that. Let's see. I think if I take the transcript, other than the fact that I speak sometimes, But let's try to get the support for the channel up, you guys. You guys know what's at stake and everything each month. Alright, let's see. I'm just going to go try to get the transcript here. Your case is so... Hey, thanks, Miss P. Alright, I'm going to go... let me get out to the... Yeah, the more, and then down below, where there's a transcript. Show the transcript. And then maybe I can just copy the whole damn thing. Let's see, I'm going to have to go way up there. Well, no, it didn't start till later, right? So what, this is like, let's see. It didn't seem to be danger, the defense is asking. He called it a perpetual continuous. Oh, shoot. When did it start? Oh wait, we're almost there. I'll just grab the whole show. Who the hell knows? Alright, let's put it into interpret this block of text. Specific the hearing in the last third.
Sure. Please up.
Ah, jeez.
The message you submitted was too long. Please reload the conversation and submit something shorter.
Let me see if I can put it into like a Word document. Hold on. Word. Let's see. Blank. Paste it in there. I'm gonna save it. Hey, thanks, Kick Rock 214. BK is going to have to shake out his drawers after that. That's right. Alright, I'm just going to load in this Word document here. Wow, look at that.
The hearing discussed in the last third of the transcript you provided refers to two key topics in the Bryan Kohberger case. 1. Third-party suspect arguments not publicly viewable. Gray notes, apparently part of the hearing is their third-party suspect arguments.
Not knew my name.
But we're not going to get to see that. This portion of the hearing involves arguments by the defense that someone else, a third party, could be responsible for the crime. However, it was closed to the public, likely due to the sensitive nature of potential alternative suspects, evidentiary status, or privacy concerns. 2. Motion to continue delay the trial. This is the portion of the hearing that was visible, and it centers on whether or not the trial should be delayed.
And thanks, Miss P up there. All right, hold on.
2. Motion to continue delay the trial. This is the portion of the hearing that was visible, and it centers on whether or not the trial should be delayed. The defense, Kohberger's lawyers, are arguing for a continuance, saying they need more time due to the complexity of a death penalty case, pretrial publicity and media leaks, discovery of new materials like the Dine episode and the James Patterson book, need for deeper investigation into potential Brady material, possibly exculpatory evidence, insufficient time for individualized voir dire jury selection process. Gray paraphrases the prosecution's argument in contrast. The prosecution argued that the longer you wait, the more opportunities for people to find out about the case. In other words, the state opposes the delay. arguing that time only increases the risk of contamination of the jury pool, not mitigates it. 3. Gray's commentary. Gray speculates.
What the hell?
The judge may already have a decision prepared based on written arguments and may just be giving each side one final say. He expresses hope that the judge rules that same day, possibly indicating a time-sensitive decision. I hope he rules today. Maybe he's giving them one last attempt. He also offers a sarcastic roast of conspiracy theorists and pro-Kohberger people, mocking arguments that ignore overwhelming circumstantial and forensic evidence. Summary of the hearing section. Hearing covers motion to continue delay trial and third-party suspect theory. Defense wants delay, more time needed due to complexity, media influence, jury selection logistics. Prosecution opposes delay, says delay increases media exposure risk. Third-party suspect argument, held behind closed doors not shown publicly. Judge's ruling, anticipated soon possibly that day. Tone, mixture of legal analysis, sarcasm, and frustration with conspiracies. If you want, I can break down the legal document referenced in that hearing, the June 16th motion reply, or turn that hearing summary into a podcast script or talking points format.
Let's see. Yeah, use bro mode and the June 16 motion reply and compare it to the prosecution arguments in court. But use bro mode, roast mode. All right, let's see what it comes up with. All right, here we go.
8 bro.
Thanks,
Let's hit this in
Magamama
full
and Richard
bro
Watts.
mode, roast mode supreme. We're talking DEFCON 1 for legal smackdowns. The battle of the century. Defense team delay versus prosecution team get on with it. Topic. Should Bryan Trash Sorter Extraordinaire Kohberger's trial be delayed? Round 1, defense comes in June
Trash
16
sorter.
like, yo, this is a death penalty case, my guy. You don't rush death penalty prep like you're cramming for midterms. Give us a delay or it's bye-bye 6th Amendment. Translation. Kohberger's lawyers drop every legal precedent in the toolbox. Strickland v. Washington, Wiggins v. Smith, Berger v. United States, even the damn ABA guidelines, which no one reads unless you're getting bar exam PTSD. They're basically screaming, Your Honor, if you make us go to trial now, we're doing the legal equivalent of bungee jumping without checking the rope. And they point out that other death cases take 3.8 years on average. This one's only been around 2.5 years. Even Nicholas Cruz's goofy ass got more time and he pled guilty. So like, come on bro, why y'all rushing this like a TikTok speedrun? Round 2, prosecution rolls in like, nah fam, y'all knew the schedule, y'all agreed to it. Don't act like this exam just popped up on your syllabus, they basically say. Defense already got what they asked for, deadlines, evidence, everything. And suddenly now they're like, wait bro, I need more time just cause a Dine episode dropped? Bro. You're gonna delay a whole murder trial because you got distracted by a true crime TV special? Then they land the big roast. The longer we wait, the more contaminated the jury pool becomes. AKA the media circus is only getting bigger, not smaller. If we wait for this to die down, we'll be holding jury selection on Mars in 2035. Round 3, defense hits back with a butt-ma media combo. They pull out the Dine episode, a James Patterson docubook special. Some Amazon series that probably got greenlit before Kohberger bought his Elantra. And they go, these things have leaked material. That violates the gag order. That could be Brady material, bro. Translation. This isn't just TV junk. This stuff could actually help our client, LOL maybe. And we need time to find out where the leaks came from. And then they go for the kill shot. If you want this trial fast, drop the death penalty. But you wanted to go full Mortal Kombat, so don't cry when it takes time. Straight power bomb, bro. That's like saying, you ordered the Wagyu steak, not the chicken nuggets. Wait your damn turn, jury selection roast. Defense says, you wanted to do death-qualified voir dire in 2 weeks? Good luck finding 12 people in Idaho who haven't already made memes about the Elantra goblin. Meanwhile, prosecution's just sipping their coffee like, bro, you've known about the trial date since 2023.
GPT myself.
What were you
talking
doing,
about?
playing pickleball with the K-bar sheath? Final roast. Gray Hughes style. Yeah, because we all separate our trash at 3 a.m. with surgical gloves and sneak it into our neighbor's garbage bin like a totally normal Tuesday night. Sure, bro. Nothing weird about that. And everyone in Moscow owns a white Elantra. Matter of fact, the town bird is the Hyundai logo. Too long, didn't read verdict. Defense, delay the trial. Media's wild, the stakes are high, and we got 18 terabytes of K-Bar Sheath documentaries to dig through. Prosecution, nah, y'all had time. Stop acting brand new. Drag this out longer, and people are gonna start thinking Bryan's innocent just because he's got bushy brows and anime eyes. You want this turned into a voiceover script? Or animated roast video script?
Yeah, no thanks. There you go, there you go. Let's see. Why does Ann Taylor always tell us that she hasn't even watched the surveillance video, which is key evidence in the case?
Oh, bro, buckle in for this one. Ann Taylor's "I haven't even watched the surveillance video" routine is peak defense strategy. And also, let's be honest, eye roll central for the rest of us. Here's the breakdown, in bro mode, with a side of legal roast. 1. The "I haven't watched it" move is a legal shield, not a confession of laziness. Ann Taylor saying she hasn't watched the surveillance isn't her being clueless. It's her deliberately signaling to the court, "Judge, we don't have time. We're overwhelmed. We literally haven't even reviewed the most critical piece of evidence yet. Help us, Obi-Wan continuance. You're our only hope." She's not saying it to you, me, or the YouTube peanut gallery. She's saying it for the record. So if the judge denies their motion to delay and things go south at trial, they can appeal that crap later like, "We told you, Your Honor. We weren't ready." 2. It's a tactical "we're not ready" alarm. Imagine this. You're defending a guy whose DNA is on a knife sheath at a quadruple murder, and the prosecution has surveillance video of his car doing drive-by laps like he's casing the house like it's a damn horror movie. And you say, "We haven't even looked at that yet. That's not an oops. That's legal jujitsu. She's building a paper trail for ineffective assistance of counsel claims if needed later. Claiming Sixth Amendment violations. Surprise, we were rushed. Appeal City." 3. It also softens the jury pool pre-trial. If the public hears even his defense lawyer hasn't watched the video, a few pro-Kohberger stands in the population go, "See? That's how disorganized this whole thing is. They're railroading this man." It's not true, but it sows the seed of chaos, and chaos is defense gold when the evidence is stacked to the moon. 4. Let's be honest. She's probably watched it. Yeah, bro. No chance in hell Ann Taylor hasn't seen the footage. Her team has seen that surveillance 10 different ways with video analysts, frame-by-frame tools, and probably even someone running Elantra simulations in GTA V, but she's not going to admit it. Why? Because saying, "Yeah, we saw it months ago," kills the whole "we're not ready, we need a delay, this is complicated" vibe they're desperately pushing. 5. Final roast mode. Saying you haven't watched the key video in the biggest murder trial in Idaho history is like a firefighter showing up to a 5-alarm blaze and going, "Water? Yeah, I haven't really looked into it." Nobody buys it. But if you say it in court with a sad face and cite a few Supreme Court cases, suddenly it's strategic. Let me know if you want a supercut script of every time she uses that line for...
I guess that kind of makes sense. You know, obviously, at least somebody's give her the breakdown of it and said, "Hey, you know, this looks pretty bad." He's, you know. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting, the conversations you can have with ChatGPT. I mean, it was pretty amazing, like just even political conversation the other night we had with the, Israel versus Iran. That was pretty interesting. And the history of the area. Yeah, she was in, went to the house and everything. Doesn't mean she watched the video. I just think, like, she already knows he's guilty as hell. I mean, the thing is here's the deal, though. The only way you'd ever know that he was guilty is if you saw the surveillance footage and you know about the DNA on the knife sheath. So maybe, she did see it early on, and then she just doesn't keep watching all of the other... She sees the ones that's important. She sees 1112 King Road, and she sees the 1330 Linda Lane footage. She sees all that. And other than that, and then Ridge Road, because that's the one that shows that she's missing, or he's missing a front license plate. So she sees all that stuff and then claims, well, there's no connecting videos, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Now, we've done some amazing, really funny stuff, like the Dylan Mortensen eyebrow stuff. I mean, that was some of the funniest. Man, I go way back here. I'm not even sure what, let's see. Yeah, well, the whole Dylan Mortensen eyebrow conversation roast was, those are the funniest ones ever. You know, like they were, like the eyebrows were a sentient being, as if they were a living organism, and she only saw, like, basically she didn't even see a person, it was eyebrows, you know? Just bushy eyebrows. I think it was a person, but all I saw was bushy eyebrows. And that was pretty funny. And then I think they even made jokes, like his eyebrows, those eyebrows, they were so big he got indicted in 2 states. His eyebrows were at the crime scene before he was. You know, all kinds of stuff. It just kept going on and on and on. Yeah, I think I have those somewhere in here. Let's see. I use ChatGPT. I mean, it's such a cool thing. Oh yeah, Copacabana vibes explained. By the way, Copacabana, the worst song ever written in mankind. Where is that? Hey, thanks, Dave Mack from Canada. Our 51st state. Just kidding, just kidding. Let's see. Where the hell is this? I think it was way back over there. Yeah, this is like a mile. I wish I could search it. I don't know. I can't find it. Yeah, it doesn't really have the dates or anything next to it. It's just sort of... Hey, thanks, Dave. Appreciate that. Very kind, very kind. And that was a joke, by the way. It has to be... well, it doesn't really matter. We could try doing... well, the thing is, you always have to do multiple iterations until it gets on the right path sometimes. How about this? Using my last... some of our other conversations, can you do a roast of Bryan Kohberger's eyebrows with full sarcasm in bro mode? Maybe it can go through the... Let's see if we can just do it again. Let's see.
Bro. You want a full sarcasm roast sesh of Bryan Kohberger's eyebrows? The bushiest bandits in true crime history? Say less. Let's get into it. Bro mode, eyebrow edition. Bryan Kohberger's eyebrows, the real killers all along. Bro, those things don't need grooming. They need probable cause and a search warrant. Like, seriously. Bryan's eyebrows are so massive, I'm pretty sure one of them qualifies as a co-defendant. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Exhibit A, the left brow. DNA not required. It's casting shadows on its own. You ever seen caterpillars holding hands across someone's forehead? Now you have. His mugshot should have been pixelated just to protect the public from eyebrow intimidation. Forensic files couldn't even process these. Imagine being the crime lab tech and you swab DNA from the K-bar sheath, but then you realize, wait, I think the sheath was just hiding in Kohberger's brow force the whole time. No wonder they couldn't find a match at first. His eyebrows were throwing off the algorithm. Those things are so thick, The FBI probably used a machete just to get a clear photo of his forehead. The real reason he was pulled over? Not for tailgating, not for speeding. It was because his left eyebrow broke the plane into oncoming traffic. Highway hazard, my guy. State trooper probably looked at him and thought, "Sir, do you have anything in the vehicle I should know about?" Kohberger, "Just my eyebrows, officer." Trooper, "Step out of the car. Slowly. Don't make any sudden brow movements. These aren't just eyebrows. They're mood rings for psychopaths." Furrowed? Equal to I'm planning a quadruple homicide. Relaxed? Equal to I'm fantasizing about deleting evidence while watching vegan YouTube. Raised? Equal to I just got pulled over and totally wasn't looking for body disposal tips at Albertsons. Bro, his eyebrows got more range than Meryl Streep. Final roast. If Kohberger ever shaved those off, he'd lose his entire defense strategy. That's where the reasonable doubt lives. And don't even get me started on if the defense ever argues mistaken identity. Your Honor, as you can see, those brows could be anyone's. There are at least 3 to 4 white Elantras with eyebrows like that. Want a thumbnail or meme that says, "Bushy brows of justice, the real suspect." With his mugshot and 2 furry caterpillars holding a K-bar sheath? I got you. Just say the word.
Let's see.
Oh, snap, bro. You just opened the Hall of Fame roast door. We're going all in now. We're talking Bryan Kohberger's Eyebrows, Sentient Edition, featuring none other than Dylan Mortenson's late-night encounter with the brows themselves. A brow, 30 intruder and treater, and a dramatic retelling in full bro mode. 1122 King Road, 4 a.m. Dylan Mortenson opens her door. Hears some noise. But bro, it wasn't a man she saw. It was a pair of eyebrows. She wasn't frozen in fear because she saw a man in black. She was frozen because those 2 sentient, furry tarantulas made direct eye contact with her soul. Like imagine opening your door and being greeted by 2 angry, thick strips of chaos floating toward the kitchen, whispering, "I'm gonna help Bryan get away with this." She didn't say bushy eyebrows to describe the guy. She was identifying the suspects, plural. Officer, I didn't see a face. I saw eyebrows with intent. These weren't normal brows, bro. They were independent contractors working a side gig in intimidation. Left brow? Aggressive, always twitching. Right brow? Calculating, silently judging your trash sorting technique. Inside Dylan's mind, did his face even have a nose? Eyes? I couldn't tell. It was like 2 furry shadows moving in unison. I heard the word chill and thought, oh my God, they speak. They made eye contact. I think one of them winked. Forensic DNA report hypothetical. Item 42nd, latent print recovered from eyebrow hair. Results, confirms presence of sentient ego and 2.4 terabytes of cringe. Even the lab techs were like, these brows are too bushy to be human. This is something else. Motion filed in court. Motion to suppress. Eyebrow evidence due to independent sentience. Ann Taylor. Your Honor, the brows acted independently of Mr. Kohberger's will. My client was merely a vehicle, a host. The brows were driving. The brows have their own plea deal. Prosecution. We'd like to offer the brows immunity in exchange for testimony. The brows will flip. But only if we get separate holding cells. We haven't spoken since the affidavit dropped. Final blow. The DoorDash driver didn't park next to Bryan. She parked next to his brows. One of them lifted slightly. The wind shifted. Somewhere, a K-bar sheath materialized in evidence form. TLDR. Bryan Kohberger's eyebrows are not just part of his face. They are entities. Witnesses didn't see him. They saw the real perpetrators. Yo, you want me to turn this into a courtroom animation script? Like the state versus the brows? I got you. Just say Browtown.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, it's crazy that it actually has a sense of humor that's like legit humor. And what's cool is I use Speechify to read the text, so it's like you can have a conversation back and forth. It's pretty crazy. And I like that guy's voice for it. It's perfect. Yeah, I was thinking of trying. Can it? Let me see. Can it? Can you decipher what words are in an audio file? Oh, yeah, sweet. All right, so let's...
Absolutely, bro. I can help you decipher the words in an audio file. Just upload the audio file you want analyzed, and I'll transcribe it for you. If it's got background noise, distortion, or a weird accent, no problem. I'll do my best to clean it up and figure it out line by line if needed. When you're ready, go ahead and upload the file.
This is sweet. All right. Let's take this thing here and see what it comes up with. I think that'll be pretty interesting. All right, cool. Looks like it already exported that. I mean, I'm really certain that we got it right. I just want to see what it's going to come up with. Just to see. It does a pretty good job on most things. All right, here we go.
Looks like I hit a technical snag trying to transcribe the audio using tools on this environment. The required speech recognition libraries aren't available here. But good news, bro. We can still get this done. Here are two solid options. Option 1, let me process it locally outside environment. You can upload the file to a transcription service like Otter.ai, Fast Free Tier, Whisper.microsoft.com, OpenAI Whisper-based very accurate, Sonics.ai, or Rev.com. If you want paid options with Pro Tools, these use advanced AI models, same tech I tried to use here, and can give you line-by-line transcriptions. Option 2, I give you a script for local use. Want me to give you a small Python script you can run on your machine to use Whisper locally? It'll convert your MP3 to WAV, transcribe it. Here's a ready-to-go Python script that will transcribe your audio file using OpenAI's Whisper model locally. Step-by-step setup instructions. 1. Install dependencies. If you haven't already, open a terminal or command prompt and run. Bash copy edit pip install OpenAI Whisper FFmpeg Python. You'll also need FFmpeg installed on your system. On Windows, download FFmpeg. On Mac, brew install FFmpeg. On Linux, sudo apt install FFmpeg. Python script, transcribe_audio.py. Python copy edit import Whisper. Import OS. Hashtag == to config == audio type file.path = nested.sequence 002 mp3 hashtag less than change to your file name if different hashtag == to load model == print loading Whisper model equal to Whisper.
Kind of boring. Hold on.
Load model base hashtag options tiny base small medium large hashtag == to transcribe == print transcribing audio to file to path.
Here, just a second. I gotta try to do something here. Hold on. Where is that? File settings. Okay, there we go. So I need to put in these two different libraries here that are right there. Whisper plus Whisper right there. Oh, looks like it made it in there. That's cool. Alright. I'm gonna just kind of do this right here, see if it works. You guys still there? It's the audio file path. And then model, and then transcribe. I'm just going to save this somewhere. Let's see. Under new folder, audio transcribe. Put that in there. Transcribe. Alright, so I saved it, and then they have it called that. Where did I put that? Okay, I just downloaded it to the... Oh yeah, it was in the folder from today. I'm trying to get this figured out, you guys. Trying to get this figured out. I mean, I use Python all the time, so I already have the... It's already right here, but let me just get the... the MP3 file, there it is, and put it into the folder that I just created. Alright, it's in there, and they call it, see there's the file, but this is what they call it, so I'm just going to call my file that one. Alright, what happens? Let's see. I'm going to save this and I'm going to close it and then open it back up again. No module name whisper. Weird, I just put that in there. Yeah, I don't know. I just installed that module, so I'm not sure why it wouldn't be in there. It's right there, whisper. That means I put it in there. Who knows? Anyways, I guess we'll have to... I'll figure it out on the side. Yeah, but anyways, well, see, when you use Python, you got to install different libraries, and I installed it, but somehow it didn't seem to pick it up, so I don't know what the deal was there. And I don't want to spend the time troubleshooting it on the show, because people get really bored too quick. Yeah, PyCharm's cool, because you can use it to install libraries, but for some reason it didn't put it in the right spot or whatever. Let me just look at it one last time. Maybe that's where it is. Hold on. Let me put it in, see if it might work in that one. Let's see. Alright. That's the part that's hard to figure out in here, these interpreter crap. Yeah, so these are different. I put them in two different ones, so that, I bet it will work now. I use the IDL, IDLE. If it doesn't work right here, I won't keep doing it. That's not what I was trying to do. Alright, will it stop on the same thing? Oh no, it went further that time. User app, organ, in line 1, import whisper. It looks like it still has the same. Oh well, I thought I'd give it a shot. You know, something on the fly. Didn't seem to work. I'm just... What interrogation is he trying to have? I'm not trying to have it do any interrogation. I'm trying to have it decipher what was said. And this is the DoorDash driver. And I wanted to see if it matches what we thought it said. What were the other options that it gave? Hold on. But hey, guys, don't forget to help support the channel. We're trying here, you guys. We're actually trying. We're trying to do the show. Download. Maybe I don't have that. You'll also need installed on your system. Okay, I guess I didn't do that. Whisper. I'll have to figure that out later. What was the other thing that they said? Free, fast, upload.
Here are some free and paid platforms where you can upload your MP3 and get it
Whisper Microsoft whisper.microsoft.com/dot.
Free, fast, accurate, uses OpenAI Whisper. Upload MP3, MP4, WAV, etc. gives you a timestamped transcript. No sign up needed. Best free option for quality plus privacy. 2. Whisper AI Whisper.ai. Also Whisper based. Free tier with limits. Clean UI and timestamp breakdowns. Easy export to TXT, SRT, or CSV. Quick and easy options with freemium models. 2. Whisper AI Whisper.ai. Also Whisper-based. Free tier with limits. Clean UI and timestamp breakdowns. Easy export to TXT, SRT.
Yeah, forget it. That's just, nothing's loading. It's just taking too much time. Yeah, this is the DoorDash. Here, we'll just play it right here. I think it says exactly what we have. I just wanted to see what it might say, but here we go. Yeah, it said something like that at some point. Let me just try that. Let's try that. If it can do the WAV file, we'll do it. I did see that at one point, but then I forgot. Oh wait, I gotta come down here to wave audio. Can you decipher a wave file, audio file? Yep, I can do that. All right, let's try.
Yep, I can help with that. If you upload a WAV file, I can transcribe or decipher the audio, meaning I'll extract the speech and give you the text version if there's spoken content. Just upload the WAV file here, and I'll take care of the transcription.
Right,
if you're looking for specific things, e.g. keywords, speaker identification, timestamps, etc., just let me know.
I mean, it tried the same thing. It said the same wording on the MP3 file. But maybe it said that too. Yeah, I don't know. I bet it has a similar error. We'll see, though. The system ran into memory issues.
The system ran into memory issues while trying to transcribe your WAV file with Whisper due to current resource limitations in this environment. Here's what you can do instead. Option 1. Use OpenAI's Whisper locally. If you're comfortable with Python, here's a script you can run on your own machine to get the transcription using the Whisper.
Here, hold on. Let me go back to the PyCharm for a second. Yeah, it's weird. It has like install OpenAI dash whisper, but it doesn't seem to be in there. Wait, is that even what I'm doing? Right here is what I was looking for. OpenAI dot. There it is. Jesus, I think I just messed up. Oh, I think I'm on it, like I went to the different place. Python packages. Okay, there we go. Maybe if I hit that, was that going to do it? So maybe I installed the wrong package a minute ago, and it was just the Whisper one. This one's installing OpenAI-Whisper, and then it imports that one in. I'm just going to do my own thing, Joanne. I don't do the pip. I know you want people to know that you know how to do it. I know how to do pip install, etc., etc., etc. I don't want to do it. Alright, it's trying, it looks like it's trying to install over here. Who are you talking to, M10? Yeah, I know how to do this stuff. I'm just saying it didn't install the... I don't need help in explaining how to do it. I do this stuff all the time. So it looks like it just got the OpenAI Whisper installed. So maybe now that will work. But also, since I did it in the other library, let me try to put it in the other one too, just to make sure I got the right one. Yeah, this... Ah, man, I'm just going to close it down. I have no idea what it just kind of switched everything around on me there. All right. Oh, so that got in there really easily. I'll do that again then. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why it had it had two in there. I think it tried to start it off, and then I reinstalled Python recently, and then there's two interpreters, etc. So I don't know why. Nor do I care. I just install the libraries I need, and then I do what I do. All right, let's see. So F. I notice that I've had 0 super chats since we switched over to doing this. So to make me feel a little bit better, like you're okay with what I'm doing, could you guys please help support the channel during this? That's been absolutely a 0 for the last 30 minutes or so because I'm trying something else. Kind of sucks. Let's see if it works this time. Oh, looking promising. It's doing something. It's work. Oh man, it started to do something. Loading whisper model, and down here it said an existing connection. Where's the other? During handling of the above exception, another exception occurred. Maybe I don't have that FM something or other that they wanted me to install too. Anyways, I'll just work on this later at a different time, not live. Makes it harder to do. Right, Joanne? Anyways, I think I'm going to take off. I always get frustrated when it's like, when it's not like really, really entertaining. Everything just slows down to a crawl. It just sucks, you know. So maybe I'll try to download some of this other stuff at some point and try to get it figured out. I mean, there was a bunch of stuff that that you had to install. Like, well, this one just said, well, let me try this one, because that's smaller. Load model, result model, transcribe. All right, let's just try this really basic one here. Maybe that'll work. All right, well, I'll try, Sarah, but man, you see what happens. It's crazy, absolutely nuts. Like you gotta be like a monkey clapping, you know, some sort of a, I don't know, man. Okay, I think that's the right name. Let's see what happens. See, has another error in there. Yeah, well, I mean, you're here for it, but everything just dies down so dramatically. It just gets really stressful. Yeah, I hate it. I hate debugging. You know, it's like you see the error. What's really cool is working with, like, you use ChatGPT to augment. I mean, it's just crazy. Like, you'll say, hey, I need something to loop through here, and it comes up with that. And then you go, okay, but then you know what you're supposed to have it do, and then you keep having it, you know, help you update to different portions, and eventually you get this amazing piece. I mean, it's a great, you have to have a human that actually, you know, knows what to do, what you're trying to do, and keep putting the pieces together, and then boom, you have this great piece. I used to always use like the Stack Overflow and stuff like that, but ChatGPT is just 1,000 times better. You know, it's crazy. So you have to know, like, if you want, like, I write scripts that go out and use different databases and so forth and bring back information, then I format it in a certain way. Thanks, M10. But yeah, you're right. I'm not like an expert using PyCharm or anything. I just use it to install libraries because it's really simple. I mean, you just go there, go to settings, bang, hit the plus button, type it in, and then hit it, and it's there. Right, it sucks, Joanne. It's just a nightmare. But, you know, hey, it's cool that you do it, you know? Like, I use Python. I use it for little things that are tedious sometimes, like just write code. Like, you can throw a bunch of Like if you copy text out of a PDF file, it has these weird characters in there, so then you paste it into a text file and then run it and it goes and it cleans it all up, so it's just a block of text. Thank you, MAGA Mama. Yeah, no problem. There's this Microsoft site. I think that one that they mentioned I have used before. I forgot about that. But I don't know where the link is. I used to have them sitting on my desktop. Props to anyone who writes code. Yeah, see, here's what I do. It's like, it's kind of dumb to reinvent the wheel. So when you code, you know, to sit there and like, okay, you know, it's almost impossible to learn how to use every element of the libraries that you download. So what you do is that's what was cool about Stack Overflow, is there's already people that have created, using different libraries, it comes up with a certain element, and then you take that piece and then you have to add stuff in that works for what you're doing, and then you continue on, and maybe you find another element that does something, you place that in and make it match what you're doing, and then eventually you have your own little piece. But it's kind of weird, you know, reinventing the wheel isn't something you need to do. It is easy to learn. I actually learned it on YouTube. Like, I don't know, 12 years ago, this guy, he used to talk bro mode. I mean, it was weird. This guy talked bro mode, and he programmed, and he'd just go really simple stuff. You know, had like 50 different lessons, and I was like, oh wow, that's easy. Jeez, look at that. And I used to use a lot for like scraping, you know, web pages. You go in there and you get the title, the description, the different tags, etc. I don't know. I think anyone can do it, to be honest with you, Natalie. I do. I think anybody can do it. I don't think you have to be particularly analytical or anything like that, because it's kind of a creative. Coding is sort of creative. I mean, it's almost completely creative. It's like you're putting together a puzzle to get an outcome. And so you put it all together, all the little pieces, and then you're just like, wow, look at this. This is crazy. Yeah, I hate all the other ones. Like, that's what sucks about using the Unity gaming engine, is they like to use C#, you know, weird stuff like that. I wish everybody was using Python, then it would be simple. Yeah, well, it's not math. I mean, it is. I mean, it has some math to it, but it's not like you're using math to figure out. It's just basically. I mean, that's what's cool about ChatGPT in combination with writing code. Like, look at what it just did right here. Like if I went like this, well, give me something basic that you guys want, would want something to do. Like, you might want to, like, I could select this. Iterate through a list in an Excel file of, you know, like names, and put those names into a list using Python. All right, let's see. This is what it'll say. Watch this. Oh, sure, yeah, here we go. Install.
Sure.
I already have that one.
Here's how you can read a list of names from an Excel file and convert them into a Python list using pandas. Requirements. Make sure you have pandas and...
Now, I should say, talk to me in bro mode. I mean, that's ridiculous. How about look at import pandas as PD? I use that one a lot because that's good for like databases and things like that. But all you have to do right there is change the name of the file. I mean, hell, why don't we just... like in the thing that we just did, the same folder, how about inside of this folder, if I say make a new Excel file, like right there, and we'll just call this test, like that, watch. And then in here, go like Gray, Natalie, Joanne, Sarah, Zozo, Jessica, like that, right? And save it. Right there, and then here, that's not the one. Where was that thing we were just working on? Right here, copy that script that it just wrote me, and then put it right here in Python, and then save as, just call it like a test, like that, right? Just a test, and then I'll change this to test, because that's what I just named that Excel file. Like that, right? And then let's see what it does. What's it airing out? Man, that's just that. Just gonna do that on something that simple. Jesus. Test XLSX. Oh wait. That's right. So I think I have to name that first column name, or maybe it's this one. Hold on. Or the sheet, something like that. Oh, then the name, I guess name column. Hold on. Like that. Now look at that. See that? Boom. See on the screen right there how it has Gray, Natalie, Joanne, Sarah, Zozo, Jessica right there, right? So it went out and it actually read my Excel file and then created a list with all the names underneath name in the name column. You see that? So then after you have that and you go, okay, what I wanted to do though is something with those names, right? Like you you know, I don't know what you want to do with it, but you might want to take those names and put them somewhere else or do something with them. But now you can actually do something where this is a list in here, and then you can go, so once the list is there, you can say, like for X in names list, and then something like print X, like that, and then it should go and list through, and it'll just be a list straight down of the names. Watch. I think it would work. I don't know if I guess I didn't do that right. Ah, crap. I don't know. Maybe it's not 4x like that. I think my brain just lost it. Anyways, what it does is it can iterate through the same list right there. But if you get stuck like that, watch this. So then you go over to you're right here again, and you go, okay, iterate through resulting list and print each name, right? And then it'll, okay, cool, then it'll put that in. Okay.
Once you've extracted the list from Excel like
that
this,
should have worked. That
Python copy edit names list equal to df name drop list. You can iterate through the list and print each name like this. Python copy edit for name in names list. Print name, full script example.
Yeah, so here you
Python copy edit import pandas as PD. Hashtag.
So watch, I'll go back over to here. It actually should have worked, whatever the hell I had there. I don't know what was wrong with that. But anyways, let's go here, and then I'm going to get rid of, well, actually this whole thing can just, like that. So then watch, now it'll work. Names? Did I do names? Is that? No, my edit. This is test. There. See, look at that. See how now it just went through and put each name by itself? And that it wasn't part of a list anymore. It just, after it took all the names from Excel, put them into a list. It then printed each name on the list by itself. See that? Isn't that crazy? Right there. Sweet. I mean, it's really simple shit, but it's pretty cool because you can then, you might be able to, surf the web, take each name, put it on the internet, get different results, blah, 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 blah. Goes on and on and on and on. But see, a minute ago, if you remember, that was all, like right here, watch. I'll say print names list. That's the name of the list that you got when you took all of them from Excel. And watch, and you'll see that above it, too. Watch. So you'll see that first, and then see that? There's the list right there. And then it went through and took each item on the list and put them and printed each one down after that. Yeah, it's totally user-friendly. I think it'd be cool if everybody sort of had a little grasp of how to do this. Yeah, anyways, there you go. Your little Python lesson for the day, where we lost about 1,000 hundreds of people. Not hundreds, like 50, but yeah, it's simple. It's simple. I mean, look at it. Just, I mean, you got to use, like, literally. I think that, using before we used to use Stack Overflow. Somebody else has already done it. It's a nightmare to start coding when you don't even know. Like, how would you have to go to school for it. But if you learn how the basics of how it works in Python, then you just go out there and you look up, hey, how do you do this? And then somebody has a sample of it. Then you make sure that you have all the libraries installed, and then you try it out, and then you work through it, and then, oh, look at that, and then you keep building and building and building, and then you make something. What kind of a stupid comment is that, Jojo Fry? You sound like an idiot. I mean, listen to what they wrote, you guys. I'm surprised Gray actually acknowledges Kohberger is guilty. Kohberger seems like the kind of guy he'd side with. What does that even mean? These people are so stupid. It's just, I mean, say something that makes sense to people. That just, you seem like somebody that thought Richard Allen was innocent. You seem like that type of guy. You like the child killers, Jojo. Man, you're a weird person, man. Really strange. Probably support all those guys like that. In the hearing at the here, Zozo, just watch this for a second. There's nothing important in the hearing other than this last line. So just pay attention for about 30 seconds. I know you can do it. Right down here. Here it is. Here's the very end, the judge. What if he's already decided? And this is just sort of like, let me hear your last arguments. Come on. God. So here he goes, right here. Because they already put this out in a document 2 days ago. Right here. He starts talking.
All right, I'll take the matter under advisement. And get
so this was a matter under advisement, and this was all about the whether or not to delay the trial. Watch.
Opinion out in short order. In the meantime, I fully encourage everyone to continue as if the trial is going to take place when it is scheduled for. Again, I reserve the right to
Hey, thanks, M10.
write the decision that I come to, but as of now, I would tell you that it's likely you're going to trial on the date indicated.
Ah, ha, ha. It's likely you're going to trial. M10 said, it's getting late, but can we see that woman and what you heard in her footage? Oh yeah, I was going to do that again. Are you talking about, you're talking about the DoorDash person? I can do it. Likely. Oh, boom. Yeah, so there it is. You got that, Zozo? He said it's likely to start on the 11th. All right, now let's go to the M10. Oh yeah, we slowed it down earlier. If you guys want to listen to that version again.
And now I have to testify. So yeah, because I'm a DoorDash driver, so yeah. You have to testify in which murder case? Murder case with college girl. Oh. My DoorDash driver is so random.
To get more mitigation.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix the pitch on that. And by the way, up there to, what was her name again? Joanne, thanks for trying to help. I just get frustrated sometimes when stuff isn't working right away and say stupid shit. Alright, anyways. Alright, sorry about that. Let's see. Let me change the pitch on here though. Video effects. There it is. Pitch shifter. Bring it into there. Then maybe, is that right? Or is it the other way around? Wow, that was loud.
And now I have to testify. Big murder case too, so yeah, because I'm a DoorDash driver, so yeah. You have to testify in which murder case? Murder case with college girl.
Alright, let's do it again.
And now I have to testify. Big murder case too, so yeah, because I'm a DoorDash driver, so yeah. You have to testify in which murder case? Murder case with college girl. Oh. My DoorDash driver is so random.
It seems pretty accurate. Yeah, and so the actual, that's not it. Is that it? Did we change that one? Yeah, so this one was changed. Because of the slow speed, we were able to, she says, so yeah. Now watch it, this is regular speed, watch.
And now I have to testify. Big murder case too, so yeah, because I'm a DoorDash driver, so yeah.
That's
you have to testify in...
And that's how she would talk, you know. So yeah, twice.
Which murder case? Murder case with college girl. Oh. My DoorDash driver is so random. Murder Eastern. Into car accidents, rapes, abuse.
I mean, that's pretty good. You know, makes sense too. You know what she's saying. His car is by me. He is, you know, his car was in the street. So I actually think what she's saying is that he's right here and she's right there. And using this 360-degree image, which will take a second to load up here. What do you mean it's a lot? What do you mean? Or I'll show you where they park. We went over that yesterday too, but let me do it again. Why can't I delete that one? Yeah. So let's see. Probably, I think that Kohberger was parked right here, facing the other direction, and the DoorDash driver was right there. It's also possible that Kohberger was parked right over there, and she pulls in, and he's just right there. I don't know. Yeah, but she pulled in while he was parked. That's how the timing is, in my opinion. He parked, and then, because if you notice what she says, I sort of noticed this on the earlier in the day. She said, I'm the DoorDash driver, so yeah, the murder kits with the college kids. I'm the DoorDash driver, I saw Bryan near the house. And then she says, parked right next to him. So when somebody says they parked right next to him, that's what you say when you're the one who parked next to a car that's already there, right? For example, if she was there and Kohberger pulls up and parks next to her, she would have said, he parked right next to me. She didn't say that. She said, parked right next to him, meaning he was already still. So when you look at it like that, and we take a look at the timeline here, at 3:57:27, he's coming around the corner behind 500 Queen Road, and then he takes off at 3:58:23. And that only took like 4 seconds to get from where he's parked, or let's say 5 seconds. So that means he was parked for, he's parked for like 30 seconds, probably from 40 to 19, so like 29 seconds he's parked. So let's say he was parked at around 3:58. I mean, he's already parked at 3:58. So what if that's when she pulls in? At like 3:58, he's parked here, and then she pulls in. And then he sits there for another 16, 17, 18, 19 seconds after she's already parked here, and then he takes off, goes that way. And he knows that she's there. That's why when he comes out, he drives up like this and around, and then he does a U-turn right here. He goes back because now there's somebody sort of interfering, and he keeps looking over there, and he sees the lights of the car. It's still on, so he doesn't go back in. He doesn't want to get spotted. And he may have even taken off because he didn't want to get spotted. He just took off really quick. Made it look like, oh, yeah, I was just getting in my car, And then he drives around, and then he goes by Ridge Road again, and he comes all the way back around, and then at 4:04, he pulls in again. Now, is she still there, by the way? Like, this time he's just frustrated, so he comes back in, and then at 4:04, I'm guessing, this is just a theory, it's not, there's no evidence, and I don't even know if it's that likely. But at 4:04, she's still there, and then she's going this direction, and Kohberger's right here, and that's why Dateline did not release the video, because they're overlapped with the DoorDash driver of Kohberger coming back in right around 4:05. That's a theory that I have, that she was still sitting there 4 or 5 minutes later. And then she takes off, and then he comes back by her again. I mean, wouldn't that be crazy? It's more likely that he came back, she was already gone, but he looks up at the house and sees movement going on. So then he drives this direction, does a U-turn, or a 3-point turn, then he comes back over here, does a 3-point turn, all the while looking to see what's going on. And then he determines, I'm ready to go, comes around, parks somewhere along here, maybe right there, and then runs into the house, or goes into the house, and then he goes up to Madison Mogen's room, and he intended to only kill Madison Mogen, but then there was Kaylee Goncalves sitting there, and then that turned into an extra fight that he wasn't really wanting to do, and that made noise, and then that got Xana Kernodle's attention, and then that led to Xana Kernodle and Ethan Chapin being killed. That's how I think it went down like that. All right, you got it? Sweet. All right. At the house, but we don't know. Who's they? Well, I think the DoorDash driver definitely parked at the house. Where would she park? There's no way she'd park back here. That'd be, I mean, who the hell would do that? A DoorDash driver climbing down a hill to deliver. She doesn't seem like she would do that, but I could see her parking here and walking around the back, dropping it off, coming around. It's very short distance to walk from here around and back. I wonder if we did the let's see what Google Maps says, just for the hell of it. Like if we went to the house, which is right here. Ah, jeez, what the hell? Did they let you change the date on this thing? On Google Maps? Well, we can still... God, dude. We can sort of see it here. So let me get directions, walking. And then if we go from right here, next location, around, and... Well, they're gonna 1 minute. They're not gonna give you the seconds. That's unfortunate. Forget it. Yeah. What are you talking about, Daphne? Yeah, I've already shown it like 50 times. I would have thought it would have got out somehow, but maybe not if the defense wasn't fighting it as they will on the stand. I mean, we just showed this exact thing 2 minutes ago. Were you here, or? I mean, I think he parked right there, and the DoorDash driver parked right here, and then he's right next to her. You know, could be though that he parked right over here. Yeah, the GPS shows that it was delivered at the back. I still don't know what you're saying there. The Alking, the 5 Akung. Let's see, just got here. I'm sad I didn't get notified. Well, why not, Jenna? Jeez. I think Jenna just came in. What do you mean? I would have thought, I wasn't talking to Jenna. I would have thought it would have got out somehow, but maybe not if the defense wasn't fighting it as they will. What are you talking about? What got out? What are you talking about? Yeah, you're right next to him. Yeah, I mean, it could have been right here, and she's parked right there, and he's right next to her, or he's right over here. You know, like the other spot would be that maybe he parked right there, and she drove in and parked right here, and was like, "Wow, he's right." You know, he's right next to her. I mean, she has to be able to get in here somehow, right? But I guess we'll hear it all at trial. I mean, there's two options. One, he was right there, which is not high. I mean, just look at that. It's not really that high. It's just like if he was right there and he's right there. You know, because this is pass number 3. He just drives around. He does park for like 30 to 40 seconds somewhere. So did he drive around and park right here, or did he park right there? He didn't park here because then she wouldn't be able to get in. I should have a training channel. For what? Like Pythons for dummies? Like that's how I feel like. I'm not like a hardcore coder who can sit there and just type in all of the, things. I know the logic and the format of things, but like, each library has its own thing. It's just crazy. I don't even know how that, I don't think anybody just knows all the libraries. I mean, it's just, I don't know. What do you think? If she said he was right next to me, is he more likely talking about down here, or he could be right there because that's so close? Like, this toilet wasn't there. I mean, you could park right here. Although, why would she park there? You would think she would park kind of over in this area if she's delivering. But I mean, maybe somebody would still say that's right next to you. I mean, people say whatever they say, and they're dramatic about it. I mean, wouldn't you say, God, he was right next to me? And then when you're asked, you might say, well, yeah, like 30 feet away. What do you mean? What the F? What do you mean? I don't get it. Hopefully she had a dash camera in the car. That is what Google is for. Right. That's exactly right. I think everybody, all you have to know is if you're coding in Python, is to learn the basics of how things just work. And then everybody else has already figured out how to use something. So you just go out and ChatGPT is incredible for that. So, I mean, I suggest, get the professional ChatGPT, which isn't really that much at all. And if you learn Python, just use that all day long. I mean, it's like exactly what you do. And going to have to check the picture. That lot was full, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. It had 4 cars in the front. So what I said was she would have parked a little bit forward of this car here. Oh man, my stomach just went. Yeah, I mean, I think it looked like, is that what it looked like? Yeah, here we go. Here's a picture right here. See, like that. See, like she would have came in.
We now know that whomever made that 911 call was not the killer.
I will tell you no.
Investigators now releasing more now know that whomever made that 911 call was not the killer.
I will tell you no.
Investigators now releasing more details about that 911 call. The 2 surviving roommates called friends over, believing that one of the second-floor victims had passed out and wasn't waking up. Police say the 911 call for an unconscious person came from one of the surviving roommates' cell phone, and that several people spoke to 911 dispatchers before a Moscow police officer arrived.
When was this? Wow, that was November 2022, so somebody had the right information.
Those friends and the 2 roommates are not believed to be involved in the killings. Police say the 911 call for an unconscious person came from one of the surviving roommates' cell phone, and that several people spoke to 911 dispatchers.
That's really accurate. That was way back, and that was this. You know what? This is only 8 days after the homicide. That was really accurate. You know what? But it's the way they worded it there is what made people think, well, why didn't one of the roommates talk? Well, I mean, law enforcement said it was made from one of the roommates' phones. And yes, it was actually Bethany Funk and Dylan who were on the phone over and over again. So instead of like these news outlets and maybe even the cops should have said, yeah, the phone call was made by Bethany Funk. She spoke. The other roommate, just mentioned that both the roommates spoke first and then some other people got on, etc. Right? So why, it's just people thought the whole time, based on wording and just sort of interpretation, that these girls were never there. But I thought this was like written 2 days ago. I mean, look at this. Listen to this.
The two surviving roommates called friends over, believing that one of the second-floor victims had passed out and wasn't waking up. Police say the 911 call for an unconscious person came from one of the surviving roommates' cell phone, and that several people spoke to 911 dispatchers before a Moscow police officer arrived.
That's
Those
totally
friends
accurate.
and the two roommates are not believed to be involved in the killings.
Wow.
We've done over
I
90.
mean, they reported that really accurately. However, if they had just said that, you know, instead of Bethany Funk's, one of the roommates' phone was used, just said that both roommates spoke on the phone, and then other friends spoke as well. That would have just sort of squashed everything early, right? Instead it's, well, why didn't they talk on the phone? Why didn't they say anything? Well, no, they never said they didn't. They just said that was the phone that was used. All right? So the only part that they didn't fill in there was who used her phone. I mean, they actually literally said Bethany Funk's, or one of the roommates' phone was used, and there were other people on the call too. All right, let's do one more time.
Releasing more details about that 911 call. The two surviving roommates called friends over, believing that one of the second-floor victims had
That's exactly what we've heard.
passed out and wasn't waking up.
Right.
Police say the 911 call for an unconscious person came from one of the surviving roommates' cell phone.
So what would make people think, by hearing that right there, that the roommates didn't talk on the phone? You see how crappy it is out there on social media? Like that right there, what would make you assume that somebody else spoke on the phone call? Nothing.
And that several people spoke to 911 dispatchers.
Right, several people, including the roommates who used the phone, right?
Before a Moscow police officer arrived. Those friends and the two roommates are not believed to be involved in the killings.
We've done over 90 interviews in this case so far.
To date.
All right, guys, we need 6 more. If we get 6 more gifted memberships, I'll donate 5 memberships myself, all right? That'll get us to the goal on the night show. This will be 6 hours of show.
No suspects have been identified and a weapon has not been found. Authorities say Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Kaylee Goncalves, and Madison Mogen were each stabbed multiple times while they were sleeping.
Well, you can
They
tell,
were
you
found
can
on
tell
the
how early this is, because I remember that people called her Goncalves at the beginning. I never heard anybody say Mogen. Okay, but I've heard Xana or Xana. I mean, I used to screw up with her name at the beginning. I don't think I've screwed up on most of the other names much, but you know, Ethan Chapin's been the same. Madison Mogen. I think I've said Xana. I think I've said Xana, or no, I think I've said Xana Kernodle before, but it's Kernodle. And then you know, then it was Kaylee Goncalves was kind of the one that took a while, because a lot of people said Goncalves at the beginning, because that's kind of how it's spelled. That's how I actually remember how to spell it, by saying Goncalves. Yeah. So you got 6 more memberships, and then I'll donate 5. All right, or any combination of the 2 will be right at the number. Yeah, Goncalves. I think it's spelled like this. Yeah, see, Goncalves. Even though when you look at it, like calves are spelled Calves. Yeah, Xana looked like the most down to earth of the people, right? Like just kind of, you know, didn't really care that, you know, didn't spend as much time as everybody else on, you know, looking like, you know, she just was cool, you know. Hello. I mean, don't all get started on those 6 memberships at once, you guys. People still say Ethan's last name wrong. What do they say, Chapin? Yeah, it's Ethan Chapin, but I think people say Chapin, I'm sure. Most, you ever notice that the Kohbergers always spell everybody's names wrong? Because they don't care. They just sort of, whimsically follow the case and all the crazy. They don't even know the people in the case, really. They're just kind of all the conspiracy theorists. They know all those people. But they always type in Kohberger, Kohl Burger. They spell all of their names wrong. Like Kaylee's always wrong. They spell Xana with a Z. It's crazy. Hey, there's one by Natalie, you guys. 5 more. And we'll have it nailed. I'm trying to think of a way to code and come up with a cool way to search out there for it's hard though is like Google really makes it hard to scrape they used to make it was easier years ago, but now it's hard to scrape search results. I know the Land Rover is Kaylee. I guess if we go back to the beginning shot here. So this was Ethan's Jeep here. This is Xana's room. This is Kaylee's room. This is the bathroom on the other wall from Madison Mogen's bedroom. This is the living room window. This is Bethany Funk's window. And this is the room that people use for storage, which could also have been a room right there. Xana. Wasn't there, like, in the Tot Mom case, what was the name of the maid in that one? Wasn't her name Xana or something like that? I know, I said the Jeep was Ethan's, right. Or Zanny. Hell. Isn't that weird? You look at that picture and it's just people pulled up, but just like they normally did. Probably all 5 of these cars. And they're just parked there and they're just, normal day. They go to sleep, everything seemed normal, and some psycho, Bryan Kohberger, comes in with a K-bar knife that he purchased on Amazon in March of 2022. He drives there in a white Elantra, missing his front license plate, seen on millions of cameras, pulls over. After stalking the house, driving around 4 different times, parks, goes into the house, goes up to Madison Mogen's room, and kills Kaylee and Madison upstairs and leaves a K-bar knife sheath. Did he leave it there intentionally? I think he very well could have. We don't know. But a knife sheath was left there, and the knife sheath contained DNA from Bryan Kohberger, and that is really strong evidence that the knife that he bought back, circumstantially, the fact that he bought a K-bar knife in March of 2022, and then a knife sheath of the same exact make and model K-bar knife, Eagle Globe, was left on the bed of Madison Mogen. Very strong evidence of that. And then he tried to buy another one like right after the homicide, etc. And I literally, to me, this is like, it's already an airtight case. Like, there's no out for him. That's why Ann Taylor's defense team spends all their time working on the mitigation. So are we gonna, any chance we can get those other 5 channel memberships gifted, you guys? I'd like to gift the 5 that I got. Shouldn't be too hard with 250 people. They need to just throw Bryan Kohberger under the jail and get it over with already. Well, that's gonna be a long trial. I'm just so looking forward to all of the facts, because I think it's gonna be really just tons and tons of just really crazy stuff that we haven't heard of at all at this point. Yeah. It's going to be way more interesting than Karen Reed, okay? Well, that's not true, Gray. I thought it was really... Okay, well, you can think what you want. I'm just telling you. We're going to have so much stuff. You might not like it. You might think Karen Reed was just the greatest, but to me that was more of a just kind of a drama, sensationalistic case. Know what? Hey, there's MAGA Mama. Now we only need 4 more from the rest of the freaks. All right, you guys, we can do it. We can do it. I'm kind of glad I didn't like fully. I mean, in some ways, I wish I'd covered the Karen Reed case, but I think, yeah, just because a lot of people wanted to watch it, and I should have just went with like what people were interested in instead of what I'm interested in. But I didn't do it. I don't know what you're saying, Cindy. It didn't make sense based on what I was saying. Thanks, PJ. Yeah, nobody was talking about that. I'm talking about the information that's going to be presented by the prosecution is going to be really interesting. There's going to be so many little things. All right. Yeah, okay, so you're saying the lawyers in Karen Reed case were interesting, not the case. Yeah, I mean, I watched some of the stuff, and then it was kind of crazy. But you know the one guy that said, the one expert that they had that said that he didn't see the damage to the back of the car changed. I mean, it's amazing how everybody quoted that guy like he was great. He got absolutely creamed on cross-examination. He admitted that his memory sucked and everything. I thought that was weird. I kept going, wow. That's crazy. There's a police officer who said that it looked way worse in the pictures than what he remembers. And then when he was cross-examined, he even admitted that what he saw was exactly the same. It was just, it's strange how the perception of people. No, I'm not following the Decker. I mean, yeah, we've covered a little bit, the Decker case. He's just out on the run, driving around. I mean, there's no really big updates or anything. We've kind of plotted out where he's been, and maybe I need to re-update that one. The guy that killed his 3. I saw like another YouTuber, you bring on an expert, and boy, you get 60,000 views, and we covered it, and you get 200 people watching. Crazy. Yeah, so we need 3 more memberships, you guys, and then I'll donate $25 worth of channel memberships myself. Yeah. Hi, Natalie, you're so funny. What? New subs after recovery. I didn't get any new subs. Oh, 200? Yeah. Oh, I see. Well, that's terrible. I mean, that's all he got was 200 subs. I got, like 60 today just covering this case, My videos usually get like 100 and something. The ones that get like 20,000 views, I usually get 100 and something new subs or something. If I get like 40 or 50,000 views, I might get 500 or 600 subs off of those. Hey, there's Amy Lemoyne. All right. Only 2 more to go, you guys. Show some love, MAGA Mama said. 260 souls in the room. Hit that like button for me, too, would you? Thanks. Yeah, and so Bethany Funk was in this room right
That
here.
911 call.
Here, let me get rid of this thing. That was interesting, though. I hadn't heard that. That was only 8 days after the homicide. An absolutely accurate article on the 911 call. So look, there. I mean, that's the same exact shot that we were just looking at. This is Bethany Funk's room. Now, there's rumors out there that she saw Kohberger getting like changing clothes or something. And I think, do you guys think that that's a possibility? I mean, what if he was parked right here on the last, for an easy getaway, and Bethany Funk's right there and looks out her window and sees him changing clothes, and he's facing the other direction, but he's parked right here, and then he goes boom, just takes off and comes around the corner. I wonder if law enforcement has the audio of the car taking off, and then they can calculate how far it was from the camera based on that. Or the general vicinity. For example, if it took off from way up there, you wouldn't really hear it that well. But if it was right here, it goes zoom, and then right around this corner, and that camera is the one that is on that building right there. Yeah, no, they're absolutely nuts. Daphne, I mean, it's just yeah, so I don't know, you guys. Still need those other 2 memberships, though. What question? The one I just said? Yeah, I mean, if he parked right there. Because look, let me go around the corner here. It's not far away. You could just look at it like this. Let me go here. So that's where the camera was. And look, I mean, if the car came around that corner, like there's the same building, it comes around this corner right here, you'd hear it pretty quick. So it'd be like, okay, the car drives by there, and I think it's, let me just see if I got it right, I'm doing it in my memory, at 3:58:23. And look at that. Boom. 3:58:23. So that's right when the car drives by 1112 King Road. So what if you hear it turn on and it drives by there 4 seconds later? Well, then that would mean, likely, that that's where it was parked. Right there. Like it turns on and then boom, like peels out. And remember, Zozo's always talking about they were checking for tire tracks. Oh, wow, that's interesting. See, I always thought the part about it turning around or something seems stupid. Like, why would there be tire tracks just turning around or trying to park? Like, peeling out stuff. But now, it's interesting to go back and remember that they were looking at tire tracks, but what if they were basing it off of when it was leaving? And it zips around that corner and they hear it sort of peeling out and they go down there and they're looking at that kind of stuff. Instead of when it tried to stop or turn around. I wonder if they have video from the other building, and no, they don't have any. Yeah. If they had it, it would have made it into those documents. They have this whole timeline. That's why it's so crazy about the 1320 Linda Lane footage missing 35 minutes that are crucial. And it's seemingly corroborated in the documents because it doesn't show the camera picking it up again. It should have picked it up at 4:14 to 4:01:30. His vehicle drove like this, and it drove right by the Linda Lane 1320. That's a camera that's always running. The online version of that is missing 35 minutes, and it's 5 hours long, and it's missing from 3:30 to 4:05, and that car would have driven by there at like 4 o'clock and 15 seconds, and then it drove over here. Now, it didn't show up in those documents as a written time frame. It didn't show up. They don't have a still frame of it, and it doesn't exist on the online version, and I don't know where the hell it is. Yeah, there's pictures of them looking at the ground. But you guys, we still need the 2 memberships. It doesn't have to be memberships if it's just the equivalent. So 2 5s or 2 memberships, whatever the hell it is. Then I'll donate the 5 memberships to a whole bunch of these people in here that are still, they have their names are in white because they're not channel membership. All right, you guys can do it. A lot of them are bots. Are you still there, M10? People's souls, it makes it so deep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we have it all sitting here. Does anybody have any questions about the time? Look at this detailed timeline. It has all of any text messages. And this part I always think is crazy right here. I don't know what tires his car had. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. We need 2 more memberships, then I can donate 5, and maybe somebody like Brooks will get one, and maybe Juju Bean or Joanne or something. Man, it's always such a struggle to get those last ones. Anyways, this part here is interesting. Watch. 407:47, the vehicle is turning right behind the house, and the headlights hit 1127. And then it likely parks around 408. And then Xana is using TikTok at 412. Then we hear a voice and a whimper at 417. And then I think Kohberger leaves the house. This is my opinion, at 418. And because he left, that's when Bethany calls Dylan. And then Dylan wouldn't have answered if he was still there. And then at 420, Dylan calls Xana. So they're trying to check on her already at 420. Guess what? Kohberger's outside next to his car this whole time. And then at 420 and 28 seconds, Dylan Mortensen calls Bethany Funk for 41 seconds. Well, guess what? Kohberger's still outside next to his car. And then at 420 and 47 seconds, Kohberger's car is heading north on King Road. That means he's peeling out, and it's actually, he's passing the camera. So at 420 and 47 seconds, Kohberger is right here, right there. So that's him heading out, going this direction. And then we have it where at 421, Bethany Funk calls Xana. And then 5 seconds later, that's the last time in the neighborhood. Kohberger's seen 5 seconds later driving south on Walanta Drive, and the headlights are seen behind 1119 King Road. Hey, look at that. The freaks did it. Whiskey Boots and Naomi. And right now we're going to go ahead and send 5 in. I got to go out use Firefox because for some reason the Chrome crap doesn't work. Yeah, let's see. YouTube Studio, content, live. Kohberger. What do you guys think of the thumbnail, by the way? It's pretty good, right? Yeah, it's like the low end of the goal was made. Yep. But it's better than not making it. I mean, I've been on doing the show today for almost 6 hours now. But during the trial, man, we're going to be on here for 8 or 9 hours every single day. You know, we might even have to do exercise together. Like, I'm going to get up, and then maybe I'll have the phone. We'll walk a mile together, 2 miles, 3 miles, come back. Let's see. All right, I'm going to get 5 here, coming up. Here it comes. We'll walk a mile together, 2 miles, 3 miles, come back. It's repeating on that other stream. There it is. All right. Boom. Chakalaka. Mr. Zeep. Whatever the hell that name is. Jesus. Janaka, Mia Green, and Jet the BC. Well, at least some people got the... Welcome, everybody, all the new ones. Make sure to stay a member after... Oh, yeah? I was just saying, like, after, I get up, okay, let's go outside, boom. Yeah, you can sort of, I don't know how that would work. I think it'd be kind of weird. Sorry, Joanne. We can't choose who gets them. You have to sign up. Did you sign up to try to be one, Joanne? Look how sad Joanne is, you guys. Is anybody going to try to help her become Let's see. This is where we need Leon Littlejohn with one of his long, where he was out there getting like all those memberships for people. Oh, you have to, well, click on like my thing that I just gifted up there, like right click on it, or and then I think it allows you to sign up for it. Somebody help Joanne sign up for being able to get free memberships. And then look at that. After the car drives away, look at all these text messages back and forth right after that. And then at 4:48, he's driving near Blaine. You know, and then the car is being followed all the way around. And then at 5:20, it's near Johnson, Washington. Then it comes back in. I mean, I think the most interesting stuff are these moments where his phone and the cast data, like, not his phone, his vehicle is seen in red here, and the cast data are in the same spot. See, like, look at right here. Cast data, and then seen. And then there's ones earlier in the evening where you can go up here and say, while he's back in Pullman, the vehicle spotted, one matching his, and then you have cast data right around the same time. Same thing here. His vehicle's seen, and then at 2:54, it is the cast data picks it up. Did you do it, Joanne? All right. I saw Leon. He's working at the bar, I guess. He was on the live stream earlier, but for a little bit. I feel he went to Kaylee's room first. No, well, she wasn't even supposed to be there. No, I don't think so, Becky. I think he only went there to kill Madison Mogen. He didn't think that... I think he was going to go straight up. This is what I think he was going to do, you guys. He was going to park his car. He was going to sneak through the sliding glass door. It was all working perfectly. He makes his way to Madison Mogen's room. And when he goes into Madison Mogen's room, because that's the intended target, he attacks her. But then there's also somebody else there that woke up, and that was Kaylee. And she fought him. And he may have either lost the knife sheath during the fight, or he placed it there anyways, because that's what his plan was. And he thought, okay, I just killed both of them. Had to kill an extra person. But then he goes down, you know, whatever happened, Xana comes up or something, hears the noise and comes up. And then it started this other snowball effect with Xana and Ethan. And he's just like, I got to get the hell out of here. I just think that that's exactly what he was doing. I think he went there to kill Madison Mogen only. And my opinion is, it might not be something that will be proven. I think even law enforcement is going to just say that Kaylee, when in the battle, he lost the knife sheath. But I think he intentionally left it there. I think he was going to quietly go in and kill Madison Mogen and leave the knife sheath on the bed as a calling card with no way to trace anything. It would just be this knife sheath. And he was going to keep doing that at various scenes in the future. But fortunately, he got caught before all of that, and he screwed up by not cleaning the knife thoroughly underneath the button snap. Other than that, there was no other single source of DNA on that knife sheath. That means he cleaned it, and he meant to leave it there, because why the hell would he clean it if he was taking it with him? That's my opinion. I'm sure a lot of you guys think something totally different. What don't you get, Cindy? You seem... He knew Xana was awake. He should have known Kaylee was there, since he had been... No, but why would he know that? He was watching Madison Mogen's bedroom. Kaylee's room is... You can't see in it unless you go way around the back of that parking area. And he's just checking the lights. So when he got there, they were already in bed with the lights off. That's it. When he got there at 3:30, they were already in bed with the lights off. Remember, they were in the bed, they were texting. So it was already dark. He can't see. He knows that side of the house is dark. He knows how it all works. He may have seen Xana awake, but he goes quietly down the hall, upstairs, and he thought he was going to be able to pull it off. He couldn't control himself. Hey, welcome, Ran 127. Yeah, well, a lot of people think he just left it there in a fight. Like, oh, he got in a battle and somehow... But why was it tucked underneath the blanket a little bit? I mean, wouldn't it just be on top? Gray, that's a good point. That's a good point. Wouldn't it just have fallen off and landed on the top? Well, Gray, maybe... Oh, it's going to be something less likely. Thank you very much. I liked on the last special... that who's that one psychologist that's on YouTube a lot? He actually said what I said. He goes, you know, he may have left it there, like maybe as a calling card. Maybe he was buying another sheath to leave at another crime scene. And I was like, okay, there we go. Yeah, I do, Cindy. I've said it 100 times. I mean, do you not watch the show? I mean, it's crazy. And I don't know if it was or not. I think it's very possible that he left it there intentionally. I said it on the earlier show, but I'll say it again because I mean, I'm consistent. I don't come up with some new, like just a totally different thing. I think that Kohberger studied serial killers, and he was like, "Wow, that's so cool! Look at that! Look at that!" He wanted to leave a calling card. That was part of his plan. He wanted there to be some recognition of something out there, that somebody left a K-bar knife sheath there. And he wanted that. And he wanted to do the killing a certain way and do this and that. And he was trying to be really cool, like a cool serial killer, doing all the cliche things. And he screwed up. He missed a little spot on the button snap. Now, however, if it turns out that there's blood all over the damn knife sheath, it's just bloody as hell, and they were only able to find a little part that hadn't had blood on it, then, you know, I might think a little differently. I don't know, you know. But even in that scenario, it's also possible, even if it did have blood all over it, that he left it there just because that's kind of what he would want to be. You know, like a cliche serial killer, basically. Maybe John I don't remember which one it was. Could have been John Matthias, I mean. Yeah, it could have been. Here, let me look it up. No, it wasn't him. That wasn't him. That's the Lauren's husband that you're talking about. My power went out tonight almost 2 hours ago. It was a bad storm. Oh, sorry to hear that, chick bait. Other than that, you would have been here, right? You know, it was weird. My nose was really runny and stuff earlier. And I thought I was getting sick, but I think it's the pollen coming through my air conditioner shooting into my face. That's what I think it was, because I turned it off. Now I'm hotter than hell in here, but my nose isn't running at all. Huh? Who are you talking to, you guys? Oh, I gotta get it off of that. I'm always on that top chat thing. I don't see anybody with that name. Anybody with the name Zeep. No, he didn't. No, it wasn't Juju Bean. It wasn't him. I just said that. It's not him. Okay? It's some other person that was on the Dateline special. You're talking to me? Hold on. I don't know what his name is. Sorry. It's kind of an odd name. It doesn't just ring a bell. When you were explaining what happened to Mr. Zeep, man, I don't know. I don't see a Mr. Zeep in the comment section. Oh, there it is right there. Of course, Bryan Kohberger is a killer, and I agree with Gray's theory. I was just making fun of Bryan Kohberger's supporters with the Bigfoot comment. Yeah, remember we did a Bigfoot yesterday? I don't know what you're talking about, Chickbait. I have no idea. Jesus. Man. I googled it and settling is not there for me. Setting is not... googled what? Yeah, he was joking around. Yeah. I think he brought up the Bigfoot thing, or somebody did the other day. Whew. God, it's hot in here. Now, what was great? The giftin', what does that mean? The giftin'? The giftin'? Oh. Oh, well, maybe you have an iPhone then. Maybe you got an iPhone there. Anyways, do you guys have anything else to chat about? Last night, oh, the Bigfoot, yeah, that was last night. That was good stuff. Here, let's look at that. Well, yeah, last night we did, what was it? These are Pro Burgers. She was too cute to be one, so we had to, it was this one right here. I love Kohberger. Look. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, and then there was one with 4 chihuahuas running around, and Kohberger's in the street, and there's a car with the headlights on him. That's pretty good. Then we had Bigfoot in the road with a car light, and Kohberger with a shovel, because he was putting, like, he's on the side of the road and he's trying to bury his weapons and everything, and there's Bigfoot and then the car back there. This one was pretty creepy, just anyways. I mean, a foggy, dark road, and he's, you know, I'm sure he wasn't digging a hole right there, but not tonight, right, Lil D? I like this one a lot, because I think this is what he sort of would look like in about 20 years. You know, just, you know what he's thinking about right there? He's thinking in that picture, why did I leave that damn knife sheath there? Look at that face. Isn't that exactly what he's thinking? Why did I leave that knife sheath? I screwed up. He's sort of like envisioning what his life would be like. That one looks weird. That one, that's the one I used on the... Now, poor guy. Oh. Ah, gee. Look at that one. See that right there? That's a real smile. He doesn't have the ability to do that right there. He just can't do that right there. It's always a smirk because he doesn't have the ability to create a full-on rip-roaring smile. Good for you, Chickbait. Good for you. I hate it. All right, let's see. We've got... the crying one. is. Well, that's what my thumbnails. Didn't you look at it? I don't know if I hate Grok or not. It's just who cares, you guys? There's no ChatGPT is the best there is. Okay, that's just the reality of it. Now there might be one that's trying to compete with it that you love, but ChatGPT can do everything. It's crazy. Yeah, it makes him look better. There's been some that look exactly like him, but you have to tell ChatGPT make a character that looks similar to Bryan Kohberger because it can't use his image, and it's kind of weird. Now let's just do one random one. What do we want him to be doing here? We'll do like an image here. Let's see. Make an image of Bryan Kohberger, image of a similar looking person to Bryan Kohberger who, let's see, looks confused with cross eyes and, or is it cross? I don't even know, but it'll figure it out. Cross eyes, sitting on a toilet with one thumb up and a shower in the background. Let's see what it comes up with. It's always cool how it just sort of figures out and comes up with something. Yeah, crossed. That's why I was going to type it. It can figure it out. I was about to type in crossed, and then I went, I don't know. I'm too tired to... Guilt burgers? I don't know. Let's see what it comes up with. It's going to do it. It's working on it right now. Gray, he's going to sue. You're going to have a lawsuit, Gray, after this. What do you mean? He's been accused. So is he going to sue the cops too? Or, I mean, what? I mean, it's the same thing. Look at this. You can already look at this.
I can't generate that image because it violates our content policies. If you'd like, feel free to give me a different prompt. I'm happy to help with another idea.
They got rid of it. Just use the same info, but a different, but a likeness of Kohberger. Yeah, I did the thumbs up. Almost looks like that same bathroom, doesn't it? What am I looking at? Oh, man.
I still can't generate that image, even using a likeness, because the request violates our content policies. If you've got another idea or want to adjust the concept a bit,
What do you
I'd be
mean?
glad to help. Just let me know what you have in mind.
What do you mean? I don't get it. How does it violate anything? Oh, maybe it's the rest of it. I don't know. Sitting on a toilet. Let's see. Good for you, Chickbait. I didn't ask. So you make a likeness of Kohberger. I'm good too. Well, I did one where he was sitting at a table sorting trash. That was pretty good. Maybe we'll try that one again. Oh, cool. This is a cartoon. That's good. I like this one. This is sweet. Alright. It's not Kohberger, you idiots! Look at that one. That's a good one there.
Wake on the rising sun.
Alright, let's see. Is this... Oh, it's another cartoon version. I guess maybe they've stopped making the lifelike one. Well, it kind of looks like more. And you could put these in a book or something. I mean, it would be like, it'd be perfect. Look at that, man. That's a good one. Yee! Perfect. There's Bryan Kohberger separating his trash into separate Ziploc bags. There's the obligatory banana peel. Almost looks like a strip of bacon, some cookies. Oh yeah, remember that? Hello, Lisa Valenzuela. What's going on? What's going on? What are you guys talking about? Kind of a weird conversation, Natalie. You're just, it's like kind of goofy. Oh, this is going to be pretty good. Look at this. Oh, man. This is awesome. Like right out of a book right here. Look at this. Yeah, really strange conversations you're having up there. The cop pulls him over and there's baggies on a table? And his head sticking out of the... I mean, that's crazy. What's going on with that one? That image is crazy. You have his head sticking out of the glass and baggies on a table in the road. Just do what I asked in the last prompt. Yikes. Alright, here we go. Okay, getting started. Here we go. What the hell was that, man?
Correct.
We were all Richard Allen!
You pieces of shit got to the jury, didn't you?
I'm not a big fan of his brain.
Okay, now they have him inside the glass, thank God. And there's a cop talking to him. I hope he's inside the glass. It kind of almost looks like he's outside of it now. Jesus, what the hell are these guys doing here? You make it look... Oh my God, this is... Start over. Create.
You got it.
A likeness.
What would you like to do or generate now? Give me your fresh prompt. Anything goes within reason.
Elantra. Missing a front license plate. Have a cop in the background going towards him. Alright, let's see. Nah, we're dead as a doornail, M10. It's okay, don't worry about it. Lisa Valenzuela, you keep doing your eye roll. Oh, geez. Natalie, you're getting too, you're just overboard up there. Can you calm down a little bit? The person's not open-minded. They're no different than anybody else. Don't pretend. Don't have this crazy, fake conversation, alright? Alright, let's see this one right here. Oh my God, you guys are acting really strange. Lil D and like, come on, you guys. Ah, look at that. No front plate. And there he is, his big face. Alright, anyways. That's it. I'm going to get out of here. Been a long time. Alright, thank you to Maga Mama, and then Jessica Schubach, Allie Cake, Jeannie Gaiagoy, Maga Mama, Allie Cake, Stephanie Sprague, Sharon Gornick, who dropped in, Natalie, K-Me, Miss P, and then Kick Rock 214 did a cat eye. Then we had Richard Watts, Maga Mama, Stephanie Sprague, Dave Mack, Sarah 67, M10, Maga Mama, and then M10 did a cat eye as well as some other super chats and so forth. So she's the highest helper tonight. And then we have Natalie gifted one, then Maga Mama, then RJ gifted one, then Amy Lemoyne, Whiskey Boots, Naomi, then I gifted 5, and then Tamran 127 became a new member. Anyways, thanks everybody for being here tonight. We'll see you guys a little bit later. All right, maybe tomorrow. Hopefully, anyways. All right, have a good one. Be safe out there. All right. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector. Come on, Natalie. Rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Grader's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a specter with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temple fucking check ya. I have no agenda.
I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right.
Yeah, this is what I'll say. If you aren't convinced at this point that Kohberger did it, you have a malfunction in your brain, okay? And that's an absolute truth, what I just said right there. You're not open-minded, you're not cool, you're not all this kind of... If you can't see it at this point, that means your brain has malfunction and there's something wrong with you, all right? You might want to go make an appointment with a doctor or something like that. You're not open-minded. It just means your brain does not work correctly, just like the rest of the Kohbergers, all right? There's no way in hell, given the information that's been out there so far, that you should be thinking, well, I'm just not sure yet. I don't know. That means your brain doesn't work right, and that's just the truth. So you can sit there and say, well, you're so open-minded. It's bullshit, okay? Don't mean to swear, but that's absolutely true. All right, thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys later.